sound so clear.
You sound so clear.
Oh, wow.
Dude, every
David,
time
I feel like we're like
I'm in you.
in like some sex
I'm
stuff
inside
right
your
now.
brain right now.
Is it rolling?
It's rolling.
Oh, I feel like I'm rolling. This is
wrong
great.
answers.
Isn't it weird? Like whenever you put the headphones on, it's like it gets so much more personal.
Dude, I'm like right here with you. It's like you and I are just like right here. We got a little audience too.
I
Filmed
know.
in front of a live studio audience.
Live.
Brain news.
Hit some of the soundboard shit.
Ladies and gentlemen.
There we go.
Did you hear that too? Oh man,
I know.
It was that wah wah wah.
We got
It's so
fucking 9/11 as well, you know?
Yeah,
Showing off
9/11.
the day. Big day for me and a couple of my friends.
Wow,
We quit the vape on 9/11.
really?
Yeah.
How old are you, David?
I'm 25.
25. So how old were you on 9/11?
I was 3. I don't remember 9/11.
You were 3?
How crazy is that?
You
Think
quit
about this,
vaping at 3 on 9/11?
right?
Wait.
No. I quit the vape not in fucking 2001. I quit it a year ago on 9/11. You know something crazy? My brother got married on 9/11.
In
On
2001?
purpose. No.
Oh my god. Sorry, I remember 9/11. It was shitty. I was in middle school.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. They rolled out the TV and like we watched it. And
wow.
And then we were like, wow, this is really shitty. And then like a second plane hit.
Yeah.
And it was even shittier. And then it got weird. And then we all went home. Man, it was like traumatizing.
Dude,
I'll never forget it.
Think about this. Gen Z literally doesn't remember 9/11.
Really?
No, I have no recollection. Vince probably doesn't remember it. Natalie doesn't remember it.
And you know what?
Jake doesn't remember it. How crazy is that? Like, I told my brother that, and he was like, wow.
Yeah.
He was like, that was such a pivotal moment for the U.S. in general.
Literally life-changing. It
Literally
was the first time
life-changing.
I was like, wow, we really aren't safe and anything is possible. Because like at that time, like literally that day, it was like, what is going to happen? You know, a building got hit, another building got hit, and like people are running around. It was just fucking awful.
Yeah.
So how old were you when that happened?
I was 3 years old when 9/11 happened, but
Wow.
I have zero recollection of it. Like,
Yeah,
literally,
I mean-
I'm not kidding, literally none.
Yeah.
That's most people now. I mean,
Wow.
that is the future generation, which is really crazy to think about because, like I said, my brother, he's like, you don't remember 9/11? I'm like, no, I was fucking 2 years old. I don't remember 9/11.
God. And you know what's really shitty about, wow, we're already getting into it.
Let's get into
about
it.
the government and all this stuff, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, you're good.
Is that if you didn't have a 9/11 in your lifetime, they're going to want a 9/11 in your lifetime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everybody's had like a similar kind of, every generation has had a thing, you know, whether it's like Pearl Harbor or, you know, even like even like the nuclear scares like in the 80s and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
It's like there's always something that happens that freaks people out. So if you haven't had a 9/11, they might have one.
Well,
And
I would argue we've already fucking had one with COVID.
COVID?
COVID was not, obviously 9/11 wasn't a terrorist attack yet, that we're aware of, that the people are aware of yet. But COVID was by far the most massive shift in the world ever in our experience. I'm 25, and that was by far, that changed, it literally changed everything for everyone.
Everything. COVID, just so you know, like my grandma, she just passed away. She was 93 and she worked for the CIA. I probably, you know, maybe should or should not say that. But in her entire life, I asked her, she's never seen anything like COVID, right? COVID really was that crazy thing that happened.
Yeah.
And there is something to be said about the trauma that everybody has from COVID that nobody is talking about. Like, I'm no expert on trauma, okay?
Sure.
But the way that trauma works is that you forget about it. You black out. You kind of like just push it to the side until like years later. So I firmly believe that everybody has trauma from COVID in different ways. Like, and they're going through it in different ways, whether it's like, you know, being forced to take the vaccine or being like, you know, just being locked down and not being able to go like see somebody that you love that might have, you know, like any kind of weird scenario. But for me personally, I know I have trauma and I'm just dealing with trauma. You know, I'm not like, I grew up pretty chill. you know, so like my life has been pretty okay.
Where
Like,
are you
know,
from initially?
I'm from Northern Virginia, like DC area.
Oh.
Actually, right outside the Pentagon. Yeah, my high school was in Langley, so like kids would skip class and they would go jump the fence and smoke cigarettes, and then a black van would just roll up and be like, "Hey, you guys can't smoke here." And it's
Holy
like, yeah,
shit.
like it's like there's cameras and stuff everywhere.
That's
and then,
fucking crazy.
Actually, and I got a good story about that because Google Maps back in the day. I'm 36. Okay, so it's like whatever, but I feel like I'm 19. But the thing is about in that area is yeah.
You're
Jeez,
not. You're
David.
36. I'm just being honest.
Jeez, David. I used to have a lot of hair just like you.
Well, I'm also, you know.
Oh shit! Wow, you know it's gonna be really liberating one day when you just.
I'm
just
honestly
buzz it all off.
I'm getting closer every single day. I'm
Yeah.
being that serious. But anyway,
It's gonna
sorry.
feel really good.
Didn't mean to interrupt you.
But no,
I was just
no,
fucking with you.
It's all good. But Google Maps, back before they had like navigation on your phone, when you would look at Google Maps back at my high school, all the roads were wrong. So like people couldn't even like navigate around there because it was like all CIA, like people like, you know, like government people. So like the roads were literally incorrect on Google Maps right next to our school. So people would be like, hey, you know, I live off of this street. And it's like, okay, well, that doesn't exist on Google Maps. And it's like, it was super weird.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So they
it's
just
some
like
super weird stuff.
purposely like, you think they just purposely changed the entire road system?
For parts of it. Like for
Oh yeah,
any,
not the
yeah.
entire thing, obviously, but I'm saying that area.
Oh, yeah,
it was
like-
totally intentional by the government to completely hide the whole thing.
Oh, totally. Because it was like
Interesting.
if our school was right here, right? Is this the camera? So if our school was right here and you drive right past it, it was like literally the next road had a wrong name. Like it was like
That is
it was
fucking
like not even the
crazy.
correct road name.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like Waterford or
Well-
something on like Google, but it was actually like McAllen or something. It was like totally different.
That's
yeah.
fucking crazy. And you grew up
Yeah.
right next to the Pentagon?
Well, I grew up in Northern Virginia,
Or
in Great
near
Falls.
Washington, near Washington, D.C. Okay.
Yeah, right around there. But yeah, so 9/11. Yeah,
It's not funny.
not funny. It was actually really scary.
It's super fucked up.
So,
But what's so questionable about it too is like, there's so many questions about it now. I mean,
Yeah.
Building 7, everything that people ask questions about, it's like the biggest national catastrophe ever. You know, to a point that my brother can't believe I don't remember it. And it's like, wow, there's a lot of fucking questions around that whole thing. You know,
yeah,
is it legit? I don't
Well-
know. We'll probably never know, just like we'll never really know JFK, if JFK was killed by the CIA. We'll never
you know, the
really-
CIA just admitted that they were involved.
Oh, yeah.
The shooter
But-
worked for the CIA.
Yeah, but-
and they admitted it.
But still.
And then
But
the shooter for
People,
JFK.
people don't really accept that, you know?
But they
The
admitted
average
it.
person. Yeah, they...
Oh my God!
But how crazy is that, too?
It blows my mind. So like, wow, this is like conspiracy podcast. But here's the
Let's
thing:
do
it's
it.
like, so the guy that shot JFK worked for the CIA, and then they like let him go or fired him or discharged him or whatever, and then like, bop bop bop. A few months later, he kills JFK, right? And then it's like, okay, well, he used to work for the CIA, but he doesn't anymore, so no liability on the CIA.
Yeah.
Like he hands off.
Well, the Warren Commission as well is super questionable. I mean, if you've done any research into it with questions, you obviously come to the conclusion that the CIA obviously killed JFK.
yeah.
They obviously killed JFK for very crazy reasons when you think about it.
Well, actually, you tell me because I have been told, or like I've researched that basically he said he was going to disband the CIA and break it into 1,000 pieces like
Yeah.
a week before.
The stereotypical line, which
Yeah.
he was going to do because
Yeah.
he saw that it was causing so much harm to the global world.
Yeah.
They were trying to obviously do regime change, which is happening right now in the U.S.
Yes.
Which, you know, has never once panned out in a good way for people.
No.
Never for the average individual once. So it's very questionable. And then you see, okay, we know the CIA is at least involved in killing JFK. He also wanted to disband the central banking system.
Yeah.
Which is the inherent system we're born into, which is you literally are born into a system where being in debt is normal. And no one ever questions that.
Well,
Why is obtaining debt through the bank normal? That shouldn't be normal.
Well, the entire country is indebted to the central banks, right?
Exactly.
Which is like
well,
the world banks.
The world
Yeah.
is indebted to the central banks.
Exactly. And so basically every American that's born is given a birth certificate, which is almost like an ID for like, hey, this person could potentially make money for you, to the World Bank. And it's like, it's really scary if you think about it. Like everybody that's born in the United States is basically like systematically raised to be able to support this central bank, which is like a mad kind of shitty process. But hey, going back to 9/11, I just had to make this point. It's because I was there, right? Or I wasn't there, but I was in school at the time.
Sure.
But like because I work with younger people, like we'll probably talk about my job and stuff. I'm a YouTube producer.
Oh yeah, we'll
blah,
get
blah,
to
blah.
that. We'll get to
But
all that.
I always ask people on 9/11 how many buildings fell. And almost every time they'd be like, well, duh, like building the two buildings, the Twin Towers. And then I say, well, there was a third one. And they'd be like, oh, okay. And, no plane hit that building. Fire, caused that building to crash.
Yeah.
And that building's called Building 7. Go look it up. Wow. I hope I don't get killed. I am not suicidal. Anybody.
I'm not suicidal either. Look it up.
I love my life. This is the best day of my entire life.
Honestly,
right now.
kill me because I'm ready for it.
Kill David instead. Just kill his ass.
But I actually am wondering.
Yeah.
So you were in grade school
Yeah.
when 9/11 happened.
I was in middle school,
just to
8th
give,
grade art class.
Oh,
It was that,
so
it was
you
that
were like
traumatic. I remember everything.
Yeah, exactly. So because this is mainly a Gen Z podcast. That's what I'm trying to do.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Sup, Gen Z?
They will never understand 9/11 the way you understand it. They really won't.
Yeah.
So explain to me what it's like when 9/11 happens, like from beginning to watching the fucking towers fall real time, because that's what you did.
Yeah, it was awful. So like essentially like I was in 8th grade and I'm actually lucky enough to have my best friend from grade school here in Austin. And him and I have been friends literally since 8th grade. So we talk about this time all the time. Usually around September. But what
sense.
happened was he was in a different class because he was in one grade below me, but I was in art class. The teacher rolled the TV in. It's like, hey, there's a real tragedy going on in America, and we all need to tune in. And I'm not like, I am sort of conspiracy guy, but like, the fact that the teacher had to show us, in every classroom in America had to be shown at the same time. And it's like, it's a good thing for the kids to know, but it's also like, did they really have to kind of show everybody all at once? Like, it's like they all, like the whole thing had to be televised to everyone at once. Like anybody that was alive at that time watched what was happening that moment.
Well, I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, naturally your teacher's not in on any conspiracy.
No.
At the end of the day, they're just showing one of the largest national tragedies in United States history, and that's important for people to witness and see,
Absolutely.
But
It was traumatic. Like, because I remember watching it.
I would argue it's on par with COVID. I don't know. I really don't know. What do you think? What's more traumatic, COVID or
COVID was worse.
Really?
Yeah, because it was psychological. That's fifth generational warfare. This is basically, they could get away with 9/11 because they, TV cameras and things like that, and if you look at all the eyewitness accounts, they were all like, yeah, it was controlled demolition, which is like any time a building falls like down like that, that's controlled demolition. The Japanese designer that made the buildings had it basically be able to withstand like 10 bigger jumbo jets. Like the ones that hit it, like were big, obviously, but like it was meant to withstand much bigger. And no building in history, except for 9/11, that has steel framing or whatever in the center, has fallen like that ever in history since 9/11. It's just it seems very intentional, and it's really sad. And I'm going to send you a documentary after this.
Do it.
Yeah, that explains it. But also, the interesting thing about this tragedy is that real people died and real people's lives were affected, because of this, including like mine and everybody else that lived through it. But you're allowed to talk about it now. which is really fucking stupid. And can I cuss on this podcast?
You do literally, you
Okay.
say and
Fuck
do
yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
the fuck you want.
These motherfuckers. Basically, you're allowed to talk about 9/11 now. So there's this YouTuber, my favorite YouTuber right now. His name is Tyler Oliveira. He's a news reporter and just a fantastic YouTube channel.
He went to Epstein's Island as well. I saw
Yes.
that. That was
Oh,
fucking crazy.
Love him, but he
Maniac.
dude. That guy is
So much
cool.
respect
He's-
for that.
dude. That is a real like journalist, and
It
there's
really
not a
is.
lot of real journalists now. You
No,
know?
not even close. And the fact that he's even willing to sacrifice whatever it is he's
so
willing.
good at Epstein's Island.
Dude, it's so
Yeah.
funny when you
This
watch.
guy, yes. Oh my god! But yeah, hey, actually scroll down to go to videos.
Wait, let me do one thing. I'm so sorry. I have to do
all
one
good.
thing. You can keep talking.
But yeah, essentially, like he just put out a video about 9/11, and we're allowed to talk about it now. Like it's not demonetized. There's millions of people watching it. It's crazy.
But
yeah,
no, dude, like I saw the video. It's honestly really funny.
Yeah,
I
scroll
saw
down
the
a little
video
bit.
of him going to Epstein's Island.
Yeah.
And that dude, the cam op that he's with, he's
Yeah.
just like, let's fucking go. He's like, I'm like, dude, you're literally gonna get fucking killed.
Yeah.
Like, you are stepping on stones that are fucking burning hot.
And I've literally I've sent him video ideas that are so sus that I hope he does. And then we'll come back on another podcast. But I've sent him because I use his thumbnail artist a lot. But yeah, go click on videos and then go down and look at this. 2 weeks ago, I investigated if George Bush did 9/11.
Holy shit.
2.2 million views.
Wow.
I swear to you, if this was like even 4 months ago, like you weren't allowed to do a video like this. This is like, it's like, it takes maybe like 20 years until like, hey, we can talk about it. It's like, if this was 2002, couldn't talk about it. If this was 2019, couldn't talk about it. But now it's like, oh, it's 2023. We had a new tragedy. Let's talk about 9/11. Let's investigate it. Like monetized video, because I got all the, analytic stuff
Really?
like plugins.
That's actually
That's a monetized video. I investigated if George Bush did 9/11 in the
Holy
fucking
shit.
thumbnail. And I love Tyler, and I don't think he shouldn't have done this video. It was a fantastic video. Everybody go watch
Well,
it.
it's a very valid question to ask, and I think
Yeah.
anyone who thinks it's not a valid question to ask isn't paying attention to what's going on globally, and
Exactly.
isn't paying attention to the U.S. government at all.
Right.
It's totally fair to ask that question.
You should be able to question.
And this is why this is why they delayed the release of a lot of JFK documents.
Yeah.
Because they know that if they come out and they say, we fucking killed JFK, then asking a question like this, asking a question about COVID, asking a
Yeah.
question about literally anything they do is entirely valid.
And JFK was you even need longer than 20 years for JFK because it's like, oh, the government assassinated a president because the government didn't like what the president was like.
Which
that's,
is like,
that's
what is
crazier.
that?
You need more than 20 years for that. Like
Yeah.
that's why that one, what was that in the 60s?
It was 60, I think it was 67.
Yeah, so it's like now we can talk about it, right? So that's like more than 20 years. So it's a
But
20
I would
years
argue,
for
I
like
would,
that.
I would also argue that obviously the technological change allows for more questions to be asked. But during COVID, I mean, you saw a mass. I mean, you saw people
COVID.
questioning everything around you. They were called conspiracy theorists. They were called honestly, these heinous things.
Yeah.
If you didn't want to get the vaccine, you were the problem.
Yeah.
If literally to the point that the president of the United States goes on live television and says, if you're not getting the vaccine, you are going to have a dark winter.
Yeah.
Meaning like, if you don't get the vaccine, you're going to fucking die.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Do you,
then,
like, that is so fucking crazy when you think about it.
and you know what, David? If the vaccine was effective and safe, like they said, then maybe he'd have a point. But the data comes out and it's kind of not, I don't
No,
wanna,
it's not kind of not.
It's kind of,
it's
it's
not.
very not.
It's not.
It's not. And
Well-
in fact, like I was listening to a podcast this morning that said that kids under 5 that took the vaccine have a 5,000% chance of actually becoming like more ill because of taking the vaccine, as in not. Because when you're a child, you have all these like antibodies and your body's growing. It's like you're invincible pretty much, right?
yeah.
And the only thing that could really screw you up is something like that. And again, like I wish I was more articulate or like really had all the data all the time because this isn't my like expertise. But generally with children, it's like you have like 70 or 90 something shots before you're even 1 year old.
No, I think
and it's like some of them, and a lot of these shots weren't even vetted.
It's not 90 shots. It's they embed like 90 vaccines into like one, or it's not 90. It's like, I think it's like 50 or 60 or something.
Okay.
Like that. They like embed it. So it's like 5 shots, but each one's like 20 vaccines.
Oh, okay.
All in one shot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's crazy. And then if you look, because I'm not, as far as like presidential candidates, Robert F. Kennedy, right?
Oh, I'm a big fan.
So yeah, he's cool, right?
No,
He's really cool. He's doing a lot of cool stuff.
I think he's a honest Kennedy. I think he's a JFK, Robert, not RFK Jr., but initial Robert F. Kennedy the same way. They killed him too, just so everyone's aware.
Yeah.
They killed JFK. They killed Robert F. Kennedy because they were going to disrupt the entire system. Natalie, thank you so much. You can be on camera.
Thanks, Natalie.
Natalie.
Nats.
But the thing about the vaccine is, okay, give him the benefit of the doubt. Give him the benefit of the doubt in this moment.
Yeah.
Which is, okay, the vaccine works. That's what they thought, right?
Right.
Or
I can't fault anybody
The
for-
vaccine doesn't give you myocarditis between every 1 in 100 or every 1 in 2,000 people, whatever the new statistic is, which is out. Give them the benefit of the doubt, in that regard. But the vaccine doesn't work.
It doesn't.
It literally doesn't work. You were told for years, or not for years. I'm sorry. You were told.
It was kind of like years.
Well, it feels
Kinda
like
was. You were right.
it honestly feels like years.
Yeah.
But you were told over and over and over and over again. Oh, you get the vaccine, you save lives. You get the vaccine, you help people. Well, we learned immediately after that that's just simply not the case.
No, and the whole thing that they ran it on was
And
like,
it's
you want to save grandma, right? You want to save grandma, but they didn't even test it for transmissibility, which means like, I can get, let's say let's pretend I'm unvaccinated, right? And you're vaccinated, right?
Yeah.
It's like, we could both get it. It's like, you could still pass it. I could still pass it, whatever. The whole thing that they ran on was like, you want to do it for other people, which is a noble cause. But it's like, if they didn't even test for it, that's one thing. But I gotta be really honest, they did test the vaccine before they released it. Maybe not for transmissibility, but they did test it on mice. And so the reason that people test on mice is because you can splice mice DNA with human DNA. That's why you can you can grow like an entire human ear on the back of a mouse or something, right? Sure. So like you can actually get correlating like data for vaccines from mice, right? Because they splice it with human DNA, so you can get like kind of somewhat accurate stuff. That's why they test on mice, right?
Yeah.
Because they splice it with human stuff, blah blah blah. But essentially, the mice never passed. Like they didn't live. Like they tested, and again, somebody's gonna fact check me, but there was either 8 or 12 mice that they tested, and they all died.
See, I've never seen it. I've never seen that study.
And like they're
personally,
tested, and so.
But am I shocked? No.
No. And
Well,
the
I heard,
ones that lived the longest, I think there was like maybe 2 mice out of the study that they lived like half as long as they would have normally lived. So it's really just a very shitty thing that they did. I mean, holy shit. I mean, honestly, this is worse than 9/11. Like, you see this? This is worse than 9/11. Like, and my grandma, like I was saying, who worked in the CIA, the best person I've ever known. Like, I love my grandma more than anything, and her funeral was beautiful. Everything was great. But before she passed, I'd ask her about aliens all the time, and she would always like just not say anything. So like,
really?
Actually, that was actually really crazy. I would ask her about aliens, and she would.
What would you ask her?
It was during Christmas, and I would try to sneak it in. I'd be like, "So, what's up about aliens?" And she would just kind of look at me, and then kind of like just ignore it, almost like for my safety.
So obviously,
which is great.
They're real.
I mean,
if they weren't real, she would look at you and go. She would look at you and she would go, "Shut the fuck up," or whatever the fuck she would say.
Honestly, I would. Yeah, I think she would have just said,
"You know what
"Shut
I
up."
mean?"
Yeah.
Like she would just be like, "Oh, you're being ridiculous."
But she never answered
but
the
she
alien
never
question.
answered.
She never answered the alien question. I'd ask her every Christmas.
Well, like you said, she worked. She worked in the CIA. What did she? Do you know what she did for the CIA?
And she wouldn't say anything. And actually, during her funeral, it just like I thought, we went to her funeral, and there was like
crazy.
not shady figures, but there were people at her funeral that I have never seen before, sitting in the very back, that like worked with her during the CIA. And it was just really interesting. They never said what she did or who she worked with or whatever, but she was very involved, and to the point where I was actually the youngest person ever in the CIA as a baby. Like right when my mom had me, it was like 2 weeks after. Like there's a picture of me like apparently I'm the youngest person who's ever in there. Like I was like a month old or something.
That's
so,
fucking crazy.
I don't know if I'm microchipped or something, but like
Yeah.
yeah, but that's a cool
Maybe
thing.
you're
That's
part
a
of the
cool thing to
plan.
say.
Maybe you're part of the plan right
Maybe
now.
I'm part of the plan. Yeah, but it's but I did ask
That's
her about
crazy.
COVID, and I was like, have you ever seen anything like this in your whole life? And she's like, no, this is the craziest thing that's probably ever happened in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, because nothing has been like on a worldwide coordinated scale like COVID. And like, look at us now. Like, we're just kind of like getting through it. We work in the entertainment industry. We're like a small microcosm of it. But like, you know, there's people that like lost homes and, you know, all kinds of things. You know, there's so much shit that happened from that coordinated effort. Every country all at once, same message.
Yeah.
Psycho, dude.
It's really weird.
I've never experienced anything like
It's
that. Neither
really
did she.
fucking crazy when
Yeah.
you think about it. I mean, it's
It's worse than 9/11. It really is.
it's so fucking crazy.
yeah.
COVID was so ridiculous. I
Yeah.
mean, to just stop the world. I mean, and stop it, I guess you can say it stopped the economy, but it really stopped more than the economy.
Yeah.
You know, it stopped what everyone thought. And to see, I mean, whether you're a conspiracy nut or not, to see the ability of influencing the entire globe.
Yeah.
Like every single country, Europe, America, or Europe, North America,
They
South
all did
America.
it in lockstep, dude. It was
And like,
all the
of
same
course,
shit.
like Africa was more like, well, we're gonna do the fuck, what the fuck we're doing.
And guess what?
A little
They
bit
had-
more disconnected in like on the internet.
Yeah.
Anyone connected to the internet knows what's going on.
Well,
with COVID.
Africa has been mad fucked over from vaccinations and things before. So
Yeah.
Africa didn't even really fuck with it. Actually, some of the deaths there were like the lowest. Because
No, I know, I
COVID
saw
didn't really
that.
kill like a lot of people. It was more so like the you know, the circumstances that stemmed from it, you know, which is like
Exactly.
and just sad, awful things that come from
Well,
it.
yeah,
you know?
and I know.
Actually, you can't say that word, so you should probably bleep that word.
What's that?
You can't say what's it? Deading yourself. You can't say that on YouTube with the S.
What are you talking about?
You can't say
You can't off yourself.
yeah.
Oh,
You can't say
I know. I learned
on
that.
YouTube.
I learned
yeah,
that.
that's like
I
the one,
learned
it's
that.
one of the words you can't say. So
I
bleep
learned
me
that
saying
on
that. Sorry,
TikTok. No, you're
I don't
good.
do a lot of interviews.
I
Yeah,
did not know that.
yeah, it's one of the really bad words.
He just
That's
recently
so-
posted a TikTok
Yeah.
telling Spirit Airlines to go kill yourself.
yeah, you
And
can't.
they took the audio.
They
off.
took the audio
Yeah.
off. I couldn't believe it. I'm
Yeah,
like, I'm not
they
even
don't
talking
like
to.
that.
I'm like, I'm not even talking to a person.
No, yeah.
But no, COVID was the craziest thing. But I will say, Gen Z. I think Gen Z.
I love Gen Z. By
No,
the way, I think
honestly,
they're fucking
no,
awesome.
I-
Yeah, Gen Z.
No, I think
Yeah.
we
I
get.
love 'em.
I think we get a lot of shit for good reason. I think a lot of us are very petty, super petty people.
Agreed.
And,
As you should be, kind of.
but no, not really. Like it's not good.
I guess
It's
petty
not
for
good.
well, it's
Well,
like
it's-
you could be petty for things like this.
Look, I think you know the people who are older. They experienced a lot of things. They went through a lot of hardship to get to where they're at. Their experience in life is very different than our experience. I mean,
Yeah.
a bad day in the life of a Gen Z is, oh my God, I'm depressed and I have to go watch Netflix alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have so much ability, but at the same time, Gen Z is 100% breaking boundaries when it comes to things like we said, like COVID. A lot of Gen Z was against the vaccine. A lot of Gen Z questioned
And I love that.
everything in front of them because we have the internet. We have all these different
You guys
resources.
are informed.
Exactly.
I sympathize a lot with
not
Gen
all of
Z.
them.
I really like Gen Z. And maybe I feel like I'm trapped in like a younger person's body, but like I really get how Gen Z thinks. And for the most part, like the kind that I like. 'Cause there's a lot of Gen Z I don't like too. You
No,
know?
me too.
You know.
No, don't get me
But
wrong.
the ones that are like really awake to like kind of what's happening are the future of this world.
and they're
you guys are gonna
silent.
really like
almost all of
Yeah,
all
you
the
guys
people
are silent.
who are very aware of what's going on are silent always.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, it's always kind of
Yeah.
been like that in the
Yeah.
in the U.S. at least. I feel like
Yeah.
baby boomers are kind of similar. You know, the people who really care are pretty silent.
You know, just on a side note, I'm proud of you for even talking about this stuff.
Oh.
You know, like having a podcast and doing this. This is great. You
Well,
know? Like,
I think
not
it-
a lot of people like have the balls to talk about this kind of stuff because this is the kind of stuff that like, you know, the mainstream corporate like media will just be like, you can't talk about that. Like, you know, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
but-
And it's like, I don't know. Like,
No,
here's the
you're
thing.
right.
I've thrown that out the window just recently because I don't want to. I guess to talk about me for 1 second,
Talk about it.
I did get let go from a recent job because of my political beliefs. And I thought that was like really shitty because it's like, who does that? You know, like if like half the country thinks one way and then like I don't.
It's happening more and more, honestly, and it's happening not just wherever you worked. It's happening across the globe. I mean, there's a large ideological battle going on, and as far as talking about things that you're not supposed to talk about, what in my mind, it's what the fuck else am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Am I just gonna sit there and do nothing?
Well,
Am I a fucking
you're not an NPC, David.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like, what are you supposed to do? Do you want to help? Okay, do you want to help people?
This is fighting. This is the fight right now.
Let me ask
Just
you one
you
question.
doing this is the fight.
I know, but it's not even about that. It's okay. Do you care about people?
Of course.
Ask any person if they care about people. They say yes.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you doing to help people? Not you. I'm saying
Yeah.
in general. You ask every single person,
Yeah.
do you care about people? They'll tell you yes. Okay, what are you doing to help people?
Well,
Most don't do anything.
no.
Because it's easier to just coast. But to
Or
challenge,
to lie to people, or to lie about like what is the correct thing to do to people. You know, like people will just be like, go with the narrative and do this, and it's like that's really not actually helping people.
Well, yes, it's not.
You know, it's like
it's not. It's not for the independent individual by any means at all. It's not for them. But it's also from a place of fear. It's like what people say when they say like, okay, there's two ways to view things. It's love and it's fear. You know, there's either love or there's fear. And that's what it is.
that's cool. I actually haven't heard it broken down like that, but that's
Do you live in fear? I would argue if you just follow the status quo, you live in fear because you just think you're. It's like
I've never heard anybody break it down like love or fear because like I like that because like I love everything. I love
know.
you. I love your girlfriend. Probably not as much as you do. I love your DJ Vince. He's awesome. He'll be on camera soon, guys. Maybe episode 7.
I love you too, G.
No, I'm gonna do a show with him. He's gonna
Vince
do a
is
show.
great. Yeah.
No, Vince is so talented. It's
Yeah.
unreal.
Thanks,
But
guys, you're making me blush.
But like, love and fear because it's like they want people living in fear, and fear is the thing that they mainly use to control people.
yes,
Like
that's what COVID was. COVID was fear. COVID was fear. It was a
fear
it was,
your neighbor,
it was
even
a-
if they don't have any symptoms, which is the craziest thing. Asymptomatic doesn't exist, and that 6-foot rule they made up. By the way, they made that up on the spot. Like, there's no science to that. And like, I mean, you guys could see it. The kids playing the recorders with the thing cut out. Like, oh my God, bro, there are
my God, it's
countless things.
insane.
Even on an airplane, all the air is recirculated. Like, I mean, shit. I tell you what, like one person sneezes in the fucking first class, the guy in the back's gonna get it. Like, I'm telling you,
Well,
like, there
actually,
are so
I
many
do know
things.
about airplanes air filters.
Oh,
quite
do
a
you?
bit. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
My friend told me all about
I'd love
it.
to hear about it.
Actually,
I love stuff like this.
airplanes are actually some of the cleanest air you can breathe in.
Oh, that's cool.
No, actually,
okay,
it's
cool.
like it's just really high quality air filters.
yeah.
Oh yeah, here it is,
Yeah, that's the one.
dude. And they were doing this at like college football games and shit.
I want.
Like,
I would literally give anybody
if
everything
this-
I own to explain how this makes
If
sense.
this isn't a psyop, then I don't know what a psyop is.
This
That's
okay. This is why I'm saying this is worse than 9/11 because when I was a child, even older than this, I was not put through this. This is crazy to me. This poor child.
How does a kid make sense of anything?
I don't want to cry on your podcast.
You can cry.
I don't want to cry, but I'm telling you, like I've cried over stuff like this. This is so sad to me. Like this is awful. This is awful.
Well, it's and this is why I feel so bad for Gen
my
Z
God.
because it's how do you make sense of anything right now? You're literally like
Up is down.
no, but exactly. And so
Bro.
it's like, okay, wear a mask but cut a fucking hole. Like what? Like what?
And by
Like
the way,
literally, what the fuck is that?
have
That
you ever
doesn't make any logic. There's no logic, and I feel so bad for Gen Z because they've completely removed logic from the conversation.
logic? Do you remember wearing a mask and smelling somebody's stinky ass fart through the mask? Okay, fart particles. Like literally, I want you to think about this. Like here, let's just talk it down to critical thinking, right? Fart particles is a piece of shit from somebody's inner anus, right? And then so that literally has to be expelled and floating through the air and then get into your nose and it goes through the mask. That shit is a million times bigger than a COVID bacterial particle.
Right.
And it's like, if you could smell somebody's ass through your mask, like, you're just fucked. Like, bro, I'm like, there's no, like, you're gonna get diseases. And it's like, when you test, like, all those awful things like nerve gas and things like that, it's like all those horrible, like, gases and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, even if you have like a big ass gas mask, it's like, even if it touches your skin, it like, skin is very absorbent. That's a whole other conversation.
Well, it is.
But like, yeah, dude.
That's why
I'm telling you, it's
detoxing is
like,
very important.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah.
crazy. It's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's all fucking nonsense.
I know,
It's like,
and that's
you're not
why.
even wearing the mask.
Well, and I think you're about to cry because you realize
This
like
poor
you were fucking 6 years old or fucking 10 years old, and dude, when you're 10, like you are just your brain is like a sponge, and you are just
Sponge.
absorbing things around you, and you need
Life is
logic.
so big and creative.
You
and
need
things are like-
logic. You need understanding. You
Yeah.
need it. But this generation just doesn't get it.
And-
where do we get it from? We don't get it from anything. We don't get it from schools. We don't get it from colleges.
No.
The only way to really achieve it is to go out of your way to find it.
Yeah,
That's what podcasts are for. That's what like Joe Rogan's for.
exactly.
Rogan
Yeah.
is like,
Well, you need critical thinking, and that's what it
Yes.
is, and that's being experienced in the world. And like, when you have people locked in their homes thinking that they can't even talk to their neighbors or do things, like when I was, so just so you guys know, like I was living in the middle of Hollywood, right? Like I was on Hollywood Boulevard during the time of COVID. There was tanks on our street. I had a cop pull up to us, like, bro, goodness, it was so much crazier. And that's what the worst part about the COVID experience was.
gonna ask you about that.
It was different for everybody, but ours was very different.
Well, yeah, I was gonna
like
ask
in
you what it-
Hollywood, it was awful. Like,
Yeah.
bro, there was like literally a tank, like not like the kind with the big barrel at the end, but it was like a what is it called? The
I know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
like the tan.
At the
kinda
end of the day,
tank
the
that-
fucking
You're thinking
military
the
was
Humvee.
yeah, the big ass Humvee, the armored one.
At the
you
end of
know,
the day, the
parked
mili-
at my Starbucks with like a guy with a gun standing out front. So I'm like walking to Starbucks, and guess what? I tell this story a lot. You're gonna love this. There was this homeless guy at Starbucks in Hollywood that would always call me ugly on days that I looked good. So like anytime I looked good, this guy would call me ugly, and I'm like, wow, I must look good today for like this guy to call me ugly. So like that's how I knew I was kind of like, you know, I had my look together that day. And so he lived through all of COVID, and I was just like, if COVID's real, this motherfucker, or maybe some of the other, because there's a lot of homeless people in Hollywood, obviously, and like I'd be like, any of these fuckers would die if COVID was a real thing. They all lived. The guy's still there. It's crazy. Like it was like through the whole thing. So that was like almost one of my like litmus tests for like this whole shit. It's like nobody literally died from it, and it's
That's
like
crazy.
I don't know a single person that's died from COVID, but I do know 2 people, and I don't want to cry again, but I do know 2 people personally that have died from fentanyl, which is a very real thing.
we know many, many people who have died.
That
from
is
fentanyl.
so sad, and that is a very real
Very
thing.
sad. I know people who have died from COVID as well, though.
Yeah,
I do.
From COVID?
Yes, from COVID during the era. I know some people who have died older.
Were
like-
they in the hospital?
No, they
I
weren't.
think it was right when they got on the ventilator.
No,
Yes.
yeah. Well,
if they die in the hospital because the hospitals were
Look,
incentivized
at the end of the day,
with
soon as
remdesivir
they
and all
got
that,
on it.
it's really sad.
COVID is not fake. COVID is real.
No, COVID
It's-
is real. Yeah.
I've been sick with COVID. I've had really, really bad symptoms with COVID. I actually get very, very sick when I get it.
I literally thought I was going to die when I had
No,
COVID. Oh,
no,
I
me
had
too.
it
That's
in
my point.
November
It's
2019,
real.
like right before it was
No.
even like announced. I was like, I'm going to die.
It's 100% real.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. Was it created? That's a larger question to ask.
Well, it
created?
was in the Wuhan lab.
Yeah, we
you
all
know.
know that.
We
well,
know that.
we know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, remember when they said it was bat soup?
Bat
Yeah,
soup.
that was
Remember when it
crazy.
was-
Or a
remember when it
pangolin.
was- remember when it was-
Yeah.
What the fuck's a pangolin? Like, see, they're just fucking with us now. Like, oh, it was a pangolin.
They're
It's
literally just like, what can we? It's,
Google, what's a pangolin?
Anthony Fauci's like, what can we get away with?
They're like, are we
What
really going to
animal
use the
should we tie to
pangolin
this?
angle? Like, it's like crazy.
No,
Yeah.
it's fucking crazy. But
Yeah.
but no, I know. I do know someone who died from COVID. COVID is definitely real. I've been sick with it. It's honestly a very bad sickness.
It was
No,
really bad.
No,
and
but
I
it's-
believe that people could die from it.
No, but
I
it's-
just don't know anyone personally.
But it's
And-
very concerning because it's like, okay, honest, I'm happy less people died, right?
Yeah.
But thankfully, not a lot of people died, but it's real.
Yeah.
I've had it. It's literally shooken me to my core before. It's not good.
No.
But it's what's so
How many times have
fucking
you had it?
crazy. I've had it 3 times.
Oh wow. So I've only had it twice.
So I had it. The first time I got it, it wasn't that bad. Second time I got it was pretty fucking bad.
Can I?
It was like,
God, I don't want to ask this, but are you vaccinated? No.
no, I'm not.
Okay.
Are you vaccinated?
Well, I lie to all my jobs that I did. At this point,
No,
it doesn't
I'm not
matter.
vaccinated. I refuse to get the vaccine. The vaccine was extremely, extremely complicated. It was an mRNA vaccine that was not really studied. And I think most people with base level logic realize, like, hey, don't trust the system. You know, I mean,
actually, and that's really good because of this.
No, I know.
Because of 9/11 and
No,
my
I know,
old ass.
but
that's why I don't believe the government. So when I experienced COVID, right? God, I don't want to talk about work too much, but like I was.
we're gonna
working
get into
at
that in a moment.
Okay. Well, I was working at a company you might be familiar with, and we went through COVID all together, and it was a very difficult time, but we made a lot of strides on the channel, and actually the YouTube channel did fantastic. And I'm not trying to blow myself, but like I wasn't afraid of
Well,
COVID,
let's talk
so
about that.
I took everyone to, you know, I didn't care. So like we went to the children's hospital, so we did all this stuff. Like, you know, it's like we did all this stuff during COVID while other people were afraid, and I feel like it was like a really beneficial thing for the channel.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about your work a little bit. I know we've talked a lot about 9/11 and COVID quite a bit.
Yeah.
45 minutes worth.
It's actually really important. It's really important.
It really
guys.
is important
It's
to
very
listen to.
important.
But talk about kind of what you do and you know how you got to where you're at.
Oh my
because
God. I think you would ask this.
because
my story is crazy.
No, I want to hear it really bad because there's so many people who try and do things. And one thing I'll tell people is you can do anything. You can literally do anything. You just got to do it. You just got to
David,
fucking do it.
You
But
are
anyway,
so right.
but-
You just have to do it, and you don't want to quit. And like, I'm going to get to my story in 1 second, but I just watched a video about Mr. Beast and all the people that he grew up with. And the thing is, all the people he grew up with, they splintered off as soon as success happened. They all hit like 1 million views, and then like one guy went to be like a drummer or something, and the other guy went to do this, and blah, blah, blah. You got to stick with what you're at, what you're good at, and what you're doing. You want to kind of, what is it, like master the lane that you're in, right? So I never thought YouTube was going to be my lane.
Me neither.
Ever. So what I did was I went to college for... Here's my fucking life story. You guys,
Tell me
you
the
ready?
whole fucking thing.
I'm gonna give you the real quick rundown, but it's actually pretty crazy. So I went to college for computer science, right? So I got a bachelor's degree in computer science, and then I got flown out by Blizzard, you know, that makes like video games.
Yeah.
So I got flown out for Blizzard for an interview to work on Overwatch. I didn't actually get the job. So, but I was in Irvine, California. I interviewed for 7 hours, very psychotic interview at Blizzard, by the way. But then I went back home, didn't get the job. My roommate at the time was a production manager for a YouTube or for a TV channel called the ID channel. And they made like documentary stuff, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And so then I worked as a PA on that. And through that, so essentially I went to LA for video games. What camera should I be looking at?
You're good. This is your
okay. So essentially, I went to LA for video games as computer science, but then I worked as a PA on TV shows, and then I worked in casting for years. I did casting for reality shows, prank shows, right? So I did a prank show on Fox, I did a prank show on TBS, did a prank show on FX. And it was all really great. And what happened was Vitaly and Roman Atwood, they're YouTubers, right? They're big YouTubers.
Pranksters.
Exactly. And so what happened was they were like, hey, we're going to do a movie for Netflix, right? And they were like, we need somebody that knows how to do pranks within the accordance of the law. Because back in 2014, you could put a fart bomb in like Burger King and film it and get like thousands of, like tens of thousands or like millions of views. And essentially, you would get paid for that. So you get paid for terrorizing people on YouTube, right? Yeah. Which doesn't exist anymore. So basically...
It's probably a good thing.
Which is a good thing. So essentially, they were like, so we need to hire people that worked in the TV world to help deal with like these pranksters on YouTube, right? So I got hired because I was on the TV world with my boss, and we helped them make this movie. And the movie was very successful. I was like the fourth name in the credits. So when
what was the movie called?
It's called Natural Born Pranksters. And it's on Netflix
Wait,
right
you
now.
saw it? Really? Did you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
that's crazy.
Oh, the
Really?
movie, I'm
grew
very
up-
proud of it.
I grew up watching Roman Atwood. He
Oh,
used to
did
be,
you?
Yeah, he was one of my favorite pranksters.
Yeah, it's really great. So yeah, Dennis Rhodey.
That's fucking
Roman and
crazy,
Vitaly.
bro.
So I'm like the fourth name in the credits when it rolls at the end, which is really cool. And so like that was a big thing.
That's fucking sick.
I only get paid $640 a week. A week. And I'm the fourth name in the credits.
That's
So just so you know how Hollywood works, this is why like LA is a
That
fucking
is so fucked.
joke. But
Oh
yeah,
my God.
when it dropped, it was higher than 3.6 out of 10 on this site. But when it dropped, it was actually it got above Star Wars at the time, like on Apple, because it was like YouTuber.
Yeah.
But essentially, so I did this movie with them, and then
cool.
What happened was I then got offered from Yuka, which was basically the guy from, it was like the European Jackass, which was the Dudesons. And then so he was like, I'm coming to America, let's make movies, blah, blah, blah. He was at the premiere of this movie that we had in LA. And then so I started working with him, and then we made all this content that we're releasing now on Instagram that you're seeing.
Oh, shit.
So all that stuff you're seeing right
From
now.
2016?
Yeah, it was like from 2016.
Damn.
And it's so funny, and it
It's
still
literally
holds.
it's like
Jackass.
It's like Jackass. Can you pull up his Instagram real quick?
Oh my God.
Dude, it's
Yeah.
like it's literally Jackass shit. It's like let this fucking baby crocodile bite my arm and shit.
Just ridiculous. And then so
What's the one with the fucking maggots? Like no, not the maggots.
oh yeah, the
bugs.
cockroaches. Yeah. So
Dude.
I wear a dog helmet with like, so essentially I'm doing Jackass stuff because this guy, he like, so the whole premise of that channel was like this crazy Finnish guy was like torturing like 3 American assistants, like editors. Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Oh
so that's
my
him. That's
God.
Yuka. He's the best. He's like the cool. That's JC. He's an editor. He edited a lot of ZHC stuff actually too. He's one of my best friends for like 11 years. There's
Nice.
Paul. And there's me.
Vince, can you find the? It's lower. It's the one where he's puts the cockroaches on his
Oh,
face.
yeah, there it is.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
dude. This is. I watched this and I was like, holy shit, this is fucking. Oh,
Yeah, there it
Limp
is.
Bizkit rules.
That is
Limp Bizkit
fucking
rules. Hey, actually,
disgust-
to your audience, Limp Bizkit does rule.
Limp Bizkit
So, like,
does.
It's a really
rule.
great band.
No, it
Like,
is. They're
it's
very
really
good.
awesome.
What's that one song? That Blue Eyes something?
Oh my God, yeah, the Blue Eyes. Is
that what it's called?
Is the album I think was. So actually, you're talking new Limp Bizkit. By new, I mean like still 14 years
I'm
ago.
25, man.
But I had 2 cockroaches in my ear. They couldn't even
Yeah,
find
I
the
know.
second
This
one.
is where it gets fucked up. It's like literally in your fucking ear, man.
So actually, this is really
oh
good, David.
my God, that's so fucking
Because-
gross, dude.
And this is good. I had to go and
Oh,
buy that.
fuck.
I had to go and buy that thing
That
to even
dog
put on
collar?
myself. Yeah,
Or that
I'm like the one
funnel?
buying it because I'm still the PA too. Like, it's like,
What was like? Did you win money or like?
I mean,
Oh, it's in your fucking ear,
oh,
man.
if they pulled it out, but no, there was a second one. See, it was a. They didn't put even in the edit, but
Dude,
like
that is
he pulled
fucking
the cockroach out of
disgusting.
my ear, and I'm like, "There's still one in there. There's still one in there." And there's like, "Oh, there's another one." In
But
there.
anyway, you were talking about you came from TV. You came. Yeah.
So
Tell me about how
So the
you-
YouTube grind was like really was the whole thing, right? So after doing that movie with the YouTubers, I worked on this YouTube channel, and when I started, it only had 30,000 subscribers, but then we blew it up to like 1.7 million or something. So we were killing it. And that's where I met my fiance, who is a full-time YouTuber. Her name is Blair White. She's fantastic. She's a transgender political commentator. My idol. Even though like I'm dating her, like she is still like, oh my God, I just love her.
Yeah, you
know?
love. I could tell you
Oh,
honestly. I could tell
I'm
you.
obsessed with her.
Yeah, you love her a lot.
God, it's like, and I will do anything for her, and like, yeah. So her shit was just killing it. Oh yeah.
Let's
Is it
turn
harassing
that off.
music?
I don't know why that was playing.
Oh yeah, that was the drone. Yeah.
Anyway,
but
so-
she's killing it, and
That's
yeah.
really cool.
And then but even from there, it's like I worked on a bunch of YouTube channels. So like I've just been stuck in YouTube ever since.
So you come from TV, you go to YouTube. What
Yeah.
YouTube channels have you worked for?
So I worked for okay. So after the
Tell me,
Dudesons-
give me your credentials.
Oh shit. So, I worked for the Dudesons for a while, so we grew that channel from 30K to 1.7 mil. But like I'm in videos with Logan Paul, Jake Paul, Sniper Wolf. Like I'm in videos, like literally I'm throwing hot dogs into Sniper Wolf's mouth, like in a video, like on the Dudesen. So like we did things with all these big YouTubers. And then from there, you know, I worked on like a bunch of like girl channels, like Eden the Doll and Molly Escom, who was like FaZe Rug's like girlfriend and stuff. So I did like a bunch of those channels for a while. And then I was like, I'm done with YouTube. Cause at that point I was like doing it for like 5 years.
Well,
so
that
I'm like done with it.
Yeah, but you worked on ZHC. When did
But that was after.
Oh, that was after all this.
I quit YouTube.
Oh,
I had already
wow.
quit YouTube.
I didn't
I
know
was
that.
like, yeah, I already quit YouTube. I quit YouTube and I was like, I'm done with it. I'm gonna work corporate stuff. So I was doing ads for like Savage Fenty, which is like Rihanna's brand. And I was doing like all these like, you know, makeup ads for this like I worked at a company that did ads for like a bunch of big brands, right? And then I'm sitting there just minding my own fucking business one day. And then Night Media, Mr. Beast's management company calls and like, hey, we got this like teal-haired Asian guy that's like moving to LA from San Diego, and we need a YouTube manager for him. And I'm like, well, I'm done with YouTube. So like, you know, I'm sitting in this nice office, like minding my own business. And he's like, no. They have like 12 like G7Xs and they're just throwing memory cards everywhere. Like they can't get videos out. Like, oh, there's like chaos. And like me, I'm like, I know how to like handle all this. And I'm like, okay, I'll meet him. And then I met him and he was fantastic. His name's Zach. You know Zach.
Yeah, Zach's super good guy, dude.
The
He's
best.
honestly
best.
a really, really good person.
Yeah, he's the shit. I love him. Hey, I'm going to give you some tea on Zach. You ready? I'm going to expose him. His hair's not teal. It's actually black.
But anyway, you worked for him. When you joined, what was the subscribers at? Like, what was?
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
I actually don't remember the subscribers. I was actually so so busy and so focused on the videos. I think his subscribers were around maybe 22 mil.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was still very high.
Oh, wow.
But,
I didn't know that.
But I know that I did like, not to brag, because I'm very proud of what we did there, but like I did with Zach and the crew, the beautiful crew, some of the biggest, awesomest videos that they did. And it was during COVID, which was very difficult, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't regret a single moment working there. Everything was just the best. Actually, go to Popular. So that one, second one, like, here, can you see this? So I did that one, that one, that one, that one. Wait, hover over that for a second.
Did you do that one?
Maybe not that one. that one. So I did an ass ton of his videos, like the Lamborghini one. Oh, definitely that one.
I mean,
Yeah. So anyway,
pretty good.
I love it, and so I had some of the best times ever working with ZHC and Zach, and it's mainly because not only like the team and everything and the vibe and all that, but it was like we gave back to so many people.
No,
Like
you
we
really
changed
did.
people's lives.
so
And
crazy.
it was so fantastic.
The philanthropy is so crazy. I mean, obviously, I work there too. I'm the cam op for them. But
And you're doing a great job, by the way.
I'm trying.
Good job,
I'm trying.
yeah.
But yeah, dude.
Just some of the best times of my life.
Dude, it's they really ZHC really creates like a family. Like that company is really very much
so
like a
good.
family, and they hire very good people.
Yeah, duh, you're working there. So is Jake and Vince.
But anyway, so then you go from ZHC, and then you're
and then
doing-
and then I worked at Rebecca Zamolo for like a year and a half. Why don't you type that in? Why don't you type that in too, Vince? Yeah. So Rebecca Zamolo, I'm actually still working there, but I just do post-production now because I can't be on set. So she's got a lot of subscribers. She's got like 14 mil, but her views are really good. Scroll down. So like, yeah. So it's like, look, 8 days ago, look, 2 days ago, 8 days ago.
wow.
It's like it's pretty solid views still. Like she's killing it. So I do all the post production on her. So I like leave notes on all the videos and stuff. But I was her production manager for about a year. And then so we did a lot of videos for her. And actually that was very rewarding too. Like we gave back to people. So everything was good there. And then from there I worked on God, what did I do? Dude. Yeah. Oh yeah, Peachy Babies. All right, so Peachy Babies is great. Actually, my contract is coming up with them. So my whole goal with Peachy Babies was to kind of get them going and then just set it off to somebody else because I don't want to work in person ever. I want to work like kind of like
Remote.
not on. Yeah, like remote.
You're at that point too. You're getting
Yeah.
older and you want that. I completely
And they're
understand
killing
that.
it. Like so, like all this shit. When I started working there, their views were like 20K within a week, like maybe 30K within a week. So now it's like 6 days ago, 318. Like, bro, like this shit is slapping. You know, it's not perfect, but it's like it's there. So basically, I'm kind of landing the plane. They can hire a new producer, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I love YouTube. YouTube is great.
I think YouTube is.
and I'm Blair's. I do all of her stuff for her podcast. So like I'm her,
really quick.
but it's not her main channel, but her podcast channel.
Sure. That's cool. Blair is definitely
Yeah.
breaking boundaries.
Yes.
And I think she likes that.
Yeah.
She wants to do that.
Yeah. She's the best.
She's
so,
very beautiful, and
Yeah.
she's definitely making people go, huh? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
It's
I think
good.
that's kind of what she wants to do.
Yeah.
And I think people should do that. Because
Her-
it makes people.
She's
it
the
makes
most
people-
impressive person I've ever met in my entire life.
most
like
what?
I love most impressive person I've ever met in my entire life. Like considering her story and who she is, and just watching her make her content and like not like struggling with it, but like it's hard to be a content creator for like
hard.
fucking 7 years or something that she's been doing it. Like I met her like within the first year that she's been doing content. Like I'm talking like 2017 or something. Like we're like in just crazy places with like like very like poor like we were broke as shit. I
Totally
was
fair.
saying when I met her I was making that like $600 a week or something.
Well,
It
that's
was crazy.
I mean, thank God you stuck.
God, it's
I
like,
mean, the
it's
fact
tough.
that you guys have come this far. I mean,
Yeah.
well, do you have any? I mean, maybe you don't, but maybe you have some plans for the future. What do you think? What do you want to do?
so
Have you ever thought about that? Like, what's your objective in your life?
So my objective has actually changed a lot. So
Totally
like
fair.
at first I was like, I'm going to do YouTube forever. This is like my whole thing. But now I'm like, I want to support her because I believe her mission is bigger than just her. I believe it like needs like me or like at least like a team, So like I want to support her literally for the rest of my life. And then on top of that, just remote work, maybe even for like an advertise, like I don't know. I'm at a very interesting, really cool part in
Yeah.
my life where like I think I want to work for like maybe doing like recruiting for like Forbes or something. Just
That'd be
something that's kind of like
More
neat
casual.
and a little niche and like only
HR,
maybe I
baby.
can do. Yeah, maybe HR. Hey. But
Well, you've
but it's
already.
tough.
well,
Actually,
the thing
this
is like you've done so much. Like
but
as
I'll tell you what.
one
Actually,
second. Let me tell you.
oh
something.
yeah.
You've done a lot. You've
Yeah.
done. I mean, what you've been involved in is more than most people will ever experience.
It's a fucking lot.
It's a lot of shit, man. I mean, you worked for multiple large YouTube channels. You're with someone who is building her own. I mean, you're doing pretty incredible things. I just want you to know that,
Thank you. I actually appreciate that. And I don't really get any love. The fact I don't. And people keep me a secret too because I'm dating her. Like, which is really shitty. And like, I didn't want to touch on it, but like,
Let's talk about
I did lose like a job or two just because I'm dating her. So now when I go into job opportunities, I'm straight up like, I'm dating Blair White. And then like, I let people know.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's just very
Well,
difficult.
she's a polarizing figure
For sure.
to the average person.
Yeah.
So that's what you're accepting. And
Yeah. So
she's
I-
not polarizing to me. I think what she's doing is fine. I think at the end of the day, she's breaking boundaries, which is what people want, right? I mean,
Right.
isn't that what progressive people want? Like
just
you
being
want
a trans
you want,
person with their own opinion, like if you're gonna like let me like I don't know, I've had difficulties working at places because of me dating her, right? And the fact is like I'm dating a trans person who's speaking her mind and breaking boundaries, and it's like if you don't like me because of that, then you're a fucking shitty person. It's like,
Well-
are you kidding me? I've been supporting her throughout her amazing career. It's like, yeah, maybe she puts people down here and there, like if you're looking at her stuff, but the people that she's talking about are like advocating for like things that are like horrific for society and children. And it's like, how could you not? I don't like, I don't have kids.
Are you talking about
like
put-
transitioning
putting,
kids,
putting
and stuff.
kids like 5-year-old kids on hormone blockers and things like that?
Exactly. Yeah. There is a financial incentive for medical institutions.
Well,
to,
what
like,
I learned is in California, it's
Interact with
it's
kids.
the thing is it's kind of like COVID, where it's like depending where you are is how it works. In California,
Mm-hmm.
I've learned that when the kid turns 13, they have a separate doctor meeting without the parent. The parent is not allowed to be in the meeting. And the doctors talk to them and they say, how do you feel? Are you transitioning? Are you this? Are you that? And I feel like that is so problematic. You're giving the doctors so much power in that situation.
I've heard about
because
this.
what is a kid supposed to think? You're a fucking kid.
And you don't like your parents at that age.
when I
Anyway,
was a kid-
like, you like don't fuck with your parents at that age.
No, you
anyway.
fucking
It's
hate your
like,
parents.
Yeah.
Of course you want to rebel against them.
Yeah.
But dude, when I was a kid, I was so obsessed with Under Armour, the brand. I literally loved Under Armour. I loved it so much. Like,
Yeah. They're still pretty cool.
completely.
Yeah.
No, I don't dislike them.
Yeah, I like
but
them
dude,
still.
I was to the point that I was like, Mom, I really want to paint my wall Under Armour.
Yeah.
Like, that is so insane. That's
Yeah.
so irrational.
And kids don't know shit.
Kids don't know shit.
Like, and just think about like yourself, even that, like you were saying, it's like,
That's what I'm saying. It's just
the thing is about all of this is that you were saying it takes place in California, but like even the place that she got her boob job at, like here in Plano, Texas,
really.
they were still doing like bottom surgery on children at 12. So it's like, if you were,
Are
a
you being
boy-
serious? Like,
I'm dead ass. Oh yeah, I mean we did a whole thing on it. It's like, can you imagine being a parent and then having your 12-year-old boy being like, yeah, I'm a girl, and get their dick cut off? I mean, you can't get your dick back. You
No.
can't get your tits back if
You
you're
can't
a
get your
young
hormones
girl.
back
You
either.
can't undo a lot of these permanent decisions that are happening to children, and it's literally evil.
It's evil.
Doctors get money from it.
Pharmaceutical.
The kids get fucked up, and guess what? Maybe it's a sick morbid thing that I do, but I follow a lot of Reddit pages of like detrans and transition people.
I've seen that
and
too.
A lot of them, they talk about how they go back to their doctors after like not botched surgeries, but even successful surgeries, like, and the doctors are like not even about like what, like they can't help them after that. It's like they do the surgery and they kick you out. Like even Blair, after she got her face, tits, and oh my God, what did she get done? She got like 3 things done at once, or maybe
Sure.
4 things done at once. And so right when she was done with the surgery, they kicked them out of the hospital. They put them somewhere else because they don't deal with the people once they do the surgeries. So it's like, yeah, hers was successful and she looks great and everything, but it's not the case with most.
It's so
maybe at least half the people.
Sure.
And
Well,
it's like
it's so weird because like when I was a kid, I used to always,
aftercare is what it's called. And
well, I think once you transition as a young kid, you are permanently tied to the pharmaceutical industry at that point. You're permanently tied to doctors. You're permanently tied to drugs. You're permanently tied to them.
yeah,
You are inherently going to need them no matter what because you're going to have problems.
Actually-
Most likely, you're going to have some type of problem that you need them to solve,
yeah.
And
Well,
so
yeah.
what I was going to say is when I was a kid, I used to always think about tattoos.
Yeah.
Like all the time. It was like an irrational thought that I had. But it was like, oh, I can't get a tattoo. I'm 13.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's literally what I used to think all the time.
Do you
It's
have any
like,
tattoos now?
No, I don't have any yet.
Oh, nice.
But I will get some soon.
Nice. That's great. That's great.
But like I used to think about that like that, and then I was always told, once
But
you're
would you have gotten one at 13?
No, well, I don't know.
See?
Without any parental supervision, maybe.
Or let's say your parents'
Without
decisions
any
couldn't
say in
interfere
anyone,
with your decisions.
maybe
you
with-
would have probably gotten
maybe
one.
with maybe sitting with a tattoo artist at 13 in a room alone, maybe I would.
Maybe, yeah.
Honestly, I probably would.
God.
And so that's what I'm saying, where it's like you don't know anything. You
don't know
literally don't know anything.
anything.
You think you know things, and then you hit puberty, and then you're like, whoa.
And you're
and then you see all these horrible things about the world, especially with the internet. You see horrible, disgusting things in the world. You see war. You see everything that goes on the internet.
You
Twitter.
see tragedy.
It's not funny, but it is hilarious.
It's not funny, but 9/11's funny now. Hey, it's 2023. We can talk about it.
But it's just like, you're just making much larger decisions than even a fucking tattoo.
Yeah.
And that was like such a big deal back then, you know?
You know what? And it's just so, okay, I'm going to be really personal here.
Like, why can't you just wait till the person is a full-grown 18-year-old adult? Like, why is that a problem?
well, here,
You know?
look, I'm 36, so I'm getting old, right? And then there's a whole other, we could talk for hours about this, but like all the food and the water that you guys drink, testosterone levels are getting fucking plummeted.
Oh, I can talk
all
about
the
that.
plastic and
I'll
shit
talk
you
about
eat.
that.
Like literally, it's destroying men, right? And
Yeah,
it's
it
making
is.
women become more like have their periods earlier and earlier, like in their life, you know. So it's basically advancing women like at a younger stage, and it's making men like weaker and like more like
More like women.
like look at like even if, and I'm not trying to say to like watch the Scream movies to like understand society, but like if you watch the Scream movie in 1998, you look at those group of teenagers like versus the group of teenagers now, it's like it is just a different breed of people, right?
It is.
And so like, look, I'm 36 and I just went and got tested for my testosterone levels and they're low. So I started testosterone. And I actually feel fucking amazing.
Wait, you started taking
I
what,
started
TRT?
I started TRT. And this is something
Well,
a lot
you
of
are
people-
36.
I'm
I mean,
36.
I'm going to do it too.
You should do it at 35. Don't,
No, I know. I'm not
don't
doing
do
it
anything
now. I'm not
until
doing
you're
anything
like,
now.
Yeah.
But
So
when I get older, I mean, I
You
just think
should.
it's important to do. I think it just makes you healthier. It makes your
Bro.
organs work better. It makes everything
I
better.
literally feel like Jesus Christ. And the thing is, I didn't know that I could feel this good, you know, and I didn't know that my levels were low. And
Does
they
it
were like
really-
they were a little bit low.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, so
But what I'm trying to, I guess the whole thing I was trying to get at is like, I started it and now I can't stop it. Because it's like, I don't want to stop feeling good. Right. And
Well-
I'm a grown ass man. And it's like, if you're a child at 13 and you start TRT as a female, like becoming a male or whatever, like you're on that shit for life. Wow. That is like a lifetime commitment. There is a number, it's like something like $1 million or something you get for every trans kid, like in the medical industry, maybe even more. It's
probably
like
more.
crazy.
probably
And it's
more.
like, so you want these lifetime people to do that. Like, it's crazy. And so it's like
Yeah.
the hormones and like all that is super powerful. And it's really important to life and things. And it's like how you think and how your mind works.
Well,
and so it's like you give these young kids that, they're on it forever.
yeah, well,
It's nuts.
I want to ask you
Yeah.
because I've never actually met someone who's done TRT before. Like I've never
Really?
I've never
Okay.
met like realistically.
I've only been on it for 6 months, but
no.
I feel great.
No, that's long.
I'm so horny. Holy shit, I'll fuck anything. I'll fuck you. I'll fuck you. I won't fuck her because that's your girlfriend.
That's my girlfriend. You
Where's
don't fuck
Jake?
her.
I'll fuck Jake in the ass.
All right, well, listen to that.
I'll let him fuck me.
Well, let me ask you this.
No, I want the DJ sound. I'll fuck Jake in the ass.
Well, let me ask you this. No, for real, Joey.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
But yeah, it makes you really horny.
No, I know.
It feels
But-
great. I feel great.
No, I know. Let me ask you a question.
Sorry, Jake.
So
It's a tragedy.
stop.
Sorry. Sorry.
I think this A cup is getting
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I'm drinking too much tea.
Yeah, a lot of tea in there. Yeah, tea in your blood.
Yeah, TRT.
Let me ask you this question. So realistically,
Yeah.
because I've always thought I have low testosterone. I've thought it for a long time. Once I
Yeah.
started working out, I think it increased a lot.
Just get tested. Just see what your levels are at.
Never been tested for it.
Oh, it takes 2 seconds.
Yeah, but
How do they-
it
how do
costs
they
money.
test you?
Oh, actually, this is so funny, and I'm sorry actually that they don't teach people this because I actually had to go around and be like I'm around people that are my age and like are jacked and like doing all this, and they're on TRT and like all this other stuff, and it's like there's men. There's these things called men's clinics, and they're everywhere. Once now that I'm telling you, you're gonna see them everywhere. There's like called Ageless Men's Health. There's like anytime you see something called men's clinic, it's just basically like a thing where like you go and get testosterone, right? And so you can go in for free and just get tested. Just to see what your levels are at.
Yeah.
So historically, levels of testosterone are supposed to be like within the like 400 to like I'm sorry, maybe even higher, like 500 to 1,000 range, right? So when I got my first test, I was at like 420 or something, right? And I'm like, oh, it's a little low, but all my friends my age are like jacked and tan, and you know they take TRT and other weightlifting stuff, which I don't take. But it's just like that's a huge part of it. So what I'm thinking is, if I was to give advice to anybody, it's like once you hit. Because it's a lifetime thing, now I can't get off of it because I don't want to. You know? I'm like, I feel great, but I will never stop now. But it's like,
Well,
I'm
I don't think
thinking-
you should. Apparently, it's
No,
very good for you. But
it is, and I feel great. I'm lifting weights. I'm doing all the thing. I'm like, I'm not in my where I want to be, but I'm feeling like I'm on the path, and I feel great. And it's like, I think you should maybe wait until like you're like 35 or 40.
Yes.
Because it's a lifetime commitment.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hurt to get tested now. Because I read again, I'm on all the Reddit pages. And yeah, and then what happens is I read the Reddit pages. It'd be like, hey, I'm 19 and my T level's like 290, which is like mad low.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like you might want to supplement on that. So I would say
Well,
just go get tested and just see where we're at, just so you know.
Well, what I'm asking you is before compared to now. Like, what is the difference? Is it in your head? Do you think part of it is placebo? Do you think part of you is like, oh, I'm on T? Or is it realistically, does it really make a big difference mentally? Like, is your motivations different?
It's so crazy. I'll give you
Like,
one
give
example.
me an example before and give me an example after.
So
because I'm
Blair
very
would never,
interested in it.
Blair would never cheat on me. Like, I love her. She loves me. We have a great relationship.
Yeah.
But like before T, it's like if she was to cheat on me, I'd be like, my whole world is over. Like, oh my God. Like, oh, my wife, my love is just like gone. But I'm like, if she was to cheat on me now or something, like, not that it would ever happen.
Yeah.
But it's like, if she was to do it, I'm like, well, now I can fuck anyone I want. Like, it's crazy. It like there's like a switch.
Does it give you confidence?
Kind of, yeah.
That's what it seems
It kind of makes you like hornier. It's like now I'm good. It's weird.
Interesting.
It's really weird.
That's
it's like,
super interesting.
that's the one example I can give because she's a public figure and you know people DM her all the time and stuff. And
Of course.
You know, me pre-TRT would be like, why is this guy hitting you up? Like, oh my God, this guy's literally got $300 million.
You're more concerned.
Like it is like really famous and super hot and really cool. And it's like, I should be mad worried. And like, you know, but now I'm like, well, now I can go fuck this bitch if I want. Like, it's crazy. It's like, it just changes the way you think about it. So it's like, instead of like, I'm going to go kill myself, it's like, now I can fuck anyone I want.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's
Interesting.
like, it was like a switch.
Interesting.
You seem
Yeah.
more confident.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's-
you
it's
seem
more
like you're in more control.
Exactly. It's like it really is important. And that's actually why I'm so involved or like so invested in like these kids taking hormones, because it's like if you were to give a little girl what I'm taking, which is testosterone, it's the same exact shit.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what would be going through a little girl's mind taking the shit that I'm taking as like a 35-year-old man, you know? And it's like, and then also like this permanent effects, like I've met women that have had TRT, you know, even for like weightlifting and things, and their voice is like mad low.
Yeah.
They talk like this.
Jesus.
And they're women and they're hot.
I always wondered.
And
that.
it's like, bro, it's like, it doesn't come back. You
Like-
can't like undo that.
well, like
damn,
the
that's
damage
fucking
it does,
crazy.
right? So like your body's naturally like it takes the testosterone, it makes it, it receives it.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas like a woman's anatomy might not be able to receive that much. So what's that
Yeah.
doing long-term damage? And then it's also mixing with other chemicals that they have exclusively.
It's a
Yeah.
great point.
So what happens with that? And like you're saying, like you're taking this testosterone now, and then they're giving it to a little kid,
They're
a
literally-
12-year-old girl. What kind of chemicals does she have in her body already that you don't have and will never have? What's that doing to her?
Well, this is actually a really advanced and good question because like
It's a really good question.
my balls, your balls, everyone's
testes,
balls,
my ball sack.
They make testosterone. That's basically like the testosterone center,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And so like it makes the testosterone, blah blah blah, and the sperm and all that. And so with a little girl, they don't have that, right? And so when you start adding things like that, it's really detrimental to like them and their bodies, right? And so what happens is they get an influx of that man energy, and so their voice, like for women, their voice deepens to a point where it's very deep. It's deep. I don't know if you've
Like
ever,
deeper than my voice.
bro, deeper than mine. That's why I was like
this.
bro, I met trans men that are like they talk like this. They talk like men.
Holy
they talk like this.
Yeah, but
and
that's like too deep.
Yes,
It's
and
like
then if you were to
unnatural.
so you can't really undo that. So like if you were to like be like, actually maybe I'm not a guy, because like no offense to like trans men, but it's like it's a really or trans women. It's a very hard game to be trans. And actually, I don't know if you know Brigitte Benitez, but she's a great friend of
I
mine.
invited her. She should have came. I tried to get her to come because she's very fun.
She's scared. I love her, but no,
She was here
but
like
she
a week
taught
ago.
me-
We all went and saw Saw. She fucking caused the scene in that fucking theater. I'll tell you that.
Did she really?
Oh, yeah.
I thought the movie was okay.
She was so upset with that movie.
She didn't like the kids in it. The kid being bloodborne in it. She had a lot to
She had
say
a good
about
time.
that.
She had a good time.
Oh, she didn't like the kid getting tortured?
No, she hated that.
She
but
was about that.
But no, she had a really good time. I love Brigida.
I loved it. I was like, fuck that kid up. Dude. Like, yeah, for movies, it's fine.
Brigida had a really good time. I love Brigida. Brigida's so real. It's like
she's so real. But
she's so real. It's
one of
like
the realest
crazy.
things she ever said was like, being trans is a hard game to play.
Mm.
And I never forgot that, because like being a trans man or being a trans woman is a very tough game. And it's like, unless you're really willing to fucking win that game, you shouldn't even bother with it. You should just be like an effeminate gay man, or you should just be like a tomboy girl. Guys love tomboy girls. Holy shit, guys love tomboy girls.
Amen
You don't
to
have to
that.
be a fucking man. Like,
No, you don't.
You know, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
But don't you think like I don't know. I've talked to my girlfriend about this before.
Yeah.
But it's don't you think there's like a weird type of hierarchy when it comes to the gay community? Like not even gay, but the LGBTQ, whatever. Don't you think there's like a hierarchy to it where it's like, if you are trans, you are like skyrocketed up, and that's why it's so noble.
Well, this
to
is
so
the-
many people, you know, where it's like you are in a completely different hierarchy.
this is the oppression Olympics. So basically, it's like, oh, being gay was really hard in the 90s and maybe the early 2000s. And then it's like, oh, you know, and also being, you know, gay, that includes lesbian. You know, it's gay or lesbian or whatever. It was kind of tough.
Mainly
you get
male,
bullied or whatever.
mainly male gay though.
Yeah, exactly.
Lesbian
because
gay has
lesbian is
always
like
been a
every
little
guy
bit-
was like, I get to fix
Every
it,
guy's like,
you know,
I'll
I
fucking
gotta fix
watch
it.
that.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, so it's like, it's whatever. But now it's like, okay, well, gay isn't even the thing, because like you got to think about like all these things are backed by money and companies, right? So it's like gay people are being oppressed, so all these companies are putting money into it. So it's like, okay, well, gay people aren't oppressed anymore. Like they're super accepted in society. They're really successful.
very normal.
So
It's
it's
not a
like,
big
okay,
deal.
well, now it's trans people. Like, so now it's like another thing. So now it's like another fight. Like these corporations and things that they have to keep going.
Yeah.
Otherwise, because if there's no struggle, there's no money, right? There's no like thing. So it's like, this has to be the new thing.
Yeah.
And the problem with this thing is that now it's funded by medical institutions, and now it's like even the president's, it's like so crazy. And so now it's like a compounding thing that is at the end of it beneficial to everyone except for the people within it.
Except for the average person.
Except for the average person. There is so few people that are actually trans, and I hate to like devalidate or whatever, like
Sure.
anybody that thinks that
I think
they're
if
trans.
you're
I think
legitimately questioning, you know,
You
your
should be
sexuality,
questioning,
and that's totally valid.
totally cool. Yeah.
Look, that is a legitimate thing, and that is totally real, and,
Totally.
and that's totally fair.
Everybody goes through like
But
questioning
you
their
ha-
sexuality. Yeah.
Of course.
But
Of
like
course.
to-
Everyone goes through it nowadays. Back then, you really couldn't.
But nowadays, if like you're questioning your sexuality, you can go on TikTok and then find a bunch of like-minded people that all tell you to, well, take testosterone.
Well, the
if
thing-
you're like, oh, if you're like a young girl, it's like, oh, well, you don't feel like a girl. Well, maybe you're a boy.
Yeah.
So do this.
Well-
and it's so easy to do that. You don't even have to tell your parents, like you were saying. So it's like, you shouldn't just be validating everybody's feelings all the time. Like, because there are like medical consequences that cannot be reversed.
Well, I think two things about it. I think, you know, ask yourself an honest question, which is, am I doing this because I genuinely think this?
Yeah.
Really? Or am I
Yeah.
doing this because I see a way to be important to the people around me?
God, that's so sad.
No,
You
it's very
yeah,
sad.
No, but you're right. You're right. It's like, why would you care about
it's
what
okay,
other people
'cause-
think?
But it is okay because people want to be important and people want to have people care about them. And that is a valid and fair thing to think. But doing it in a way of transitioning or doing it in a way of this different hierarchy, this LGBTQ hierarchy is not the way to do it.
No.
It's really not. I'm not saying I'm not saying that that's unvalid. I'm not saying LGBTQ is unvalid or anything like that. I'm just saying don't latch on to this system to find value because guess what? You're going to grow up and you're going to be an adult one day.
Yeah.
You're going to be 20 years old and alone one day, just like everyone else.
Just like everybody else. Like
Everyone goes through
David,
it.
what have I been saying? Like, I've been working at YouTube for like 10 years, and I'm like, I don't really want to do YouTube anymore. I'm like, maybe over. Like, just give me a fucking job somewhere else. And it's like, but I'm going to keep getting hired by YouTube and doing all this stuff. But like, look, I'm saying like, I'm kind of mentally over it. I'm 36. Like, I'm old. So it's like, imagine being like 18 and being like, all right, I did this girl thing, but like, I still don't get called a girl anywhere I go, or like any of this, or like a young girl that's like, I still get called she everywhere, but now my voice is different. It's like, you can't undo a lot of the things.
Well,
absolutely.
absolutely.
It's not a career change. It's like,
what's so weird about it too is I think a lot of it is schooling. I think a lot of it is the schools because.
Have you seen those like teachers, like the woke TikTok
I have to pee
teachers?
so bad. I'll be back.
Actually, I got to pee too.
All right,
Can we
pee break?
pee break?
Do you want to keep going?
Are we going to pee in the same toilet?
Not
All
at the
three
same
of them at
time.
the same time.
Okay.
I have to pee so bad.
Yeah,
no. We
Do you
said,
still have your dick?
Me?
Yeah.
Did I what?
We still have our dicks.
My cock is intact.
Yes. All right, let's show it. Pull it out. Let's show our dicks.
I was gonna say, what was it like for you growing up in school?
Oh man.
I just want to know, like, what was your
Yeah.
even if it's bad.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
What was it like when you went to school? Because I feel like my experience was a little bit different.
So
Maybe I'm wrong, though.
I guess so growing up, like personally, like I grew up pretty poor. Like
too.
I mean for traditional standards, like it was like pretty bad. Like, it was I grew up in a school with like a lot of kids that were misbehaving, and like it was a pretty bad community and all that. And then actually my dad somehow acquired money when I was around 15, and then I went to the rich kid school. So like it was like a whole flip for me. So like I started at like the bad schools, and then I went to the nice schools, and it was like so like I joke, but like and you maybe you should edit this out, but like I was the only black kid at my high school, like except for maybe two other ones.
You were the minority.
Yeah, so it was like,
what was that culture shock like for you going into this rich neighborhood now?
bro, it was crazy. Like they were like so rich. Like I mean, I'm talking like it was
How rich?
So my high school was the second best high school in America.
Holy
In the whole
fucking shit.
country.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so it's Langley High School, and you can look it up. It's maybe 4 now. Regardless, it's in the top
10.
10 for sure. But it was crazy. So like I had bitches doing like coke off textbooks in the parking lot.
Oh
like,
my fucking
I
god.
was
That's the
I
top
was
school
like-
in the US?
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Is this it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Let's see some pictures.
Langley High School.
So top 10.
Yeah, so it was great. So like I went from Herndon High, which was like absolute dog shit, to like Langley High, and it was literally a culture shock. So I met a lot of new friends and I met a lot of new people, but it really taught me a lot about like just life and things, because like I went from like I guess dare I say like a bad kind of like lifestyle and community to like a rich, disgusting, like almost disgustingly rich. Like my parents weren't, but like we were like the lowest tier of the rich community, because my dad worked at AOL, and AOL blew up during that time.
AOL?
AOL, like the
AOL.
original AOL?
AOL,
Holy
yeah.
shit,
That's
that's,
pretty cool.
fucking
That was-
Yeah,
crazy.
that's before
so
our
he
time, but-
so he worked at AOL when my dad was like poor. Like my dad was like not doing great, and he was like one of the first AOL people. So AOL blew up, and he still wasn't one of the top people, but like enough to get us there. And it was like a real culture shock. But it was like that's what any good parent or father would do. And like as much as like anything happened in my life, like I can appreciate my dad and my mom for like at least like working as hard as they did to get me to this
Do you love your dad and your mom?
high school. I do.
How much?
The most. I love my mommy and my daddy. They're the shits.
I love my mommy too.
No,
many
she'll
siblings
probably
did you
watch
have?
this.
I love my daddy and
How
my
many
mommy.
siblings do you have? How
I
big is
have
the family?
actually. This is actually something I actually want to talk to you about, David.
What is
I
it?
have one brother.
Really?
And
Are you the
he is-
oldest?
I am. And I do have a younger brother, and he does put the family through more turmoil than I do.
Yeah.
And him and I are just very different people. And, you know, just based on the last podcast that I listened to from you,
Yeah.
it was like, it seems like you have an older brother that is not so great.
Yeah.
And my brother is kind of the same.
Yeah.
And I don't want to like put him down or anything because like I love him,
fair.
but like he's a little lost, and I don't know if it's drugs. I don't know if it's what. But
Probably drugs.
I
We talked about fentanyl.
I actually
earlier. Let's
wish
be
it was
honest.
drugs. I actually hope it's drugs because I don't think it is. I think he has like actual like
You think he's just a nihilist?
no.
You don't think he's nihilism? What is it then?
I think he has like actual
Mental disorders.
like maybe like some kind of like schizophrenia or something.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't like to talk about my brother like that because he's like
I
actually
understand.
really great, but he's you know, I watched him do like speeches in Long Beach like for like, you know, doctor stuff. He went to medical school. Like he was a really smart guy. Like I watched him do like a presentation on
That's when it's the worst,
stuff.
though,
And
because
I think
because
he-
you see how important and how relevant that person can become in the world,
yeah.
and you watch them not do that,
No.
and it hurts. My oldest brother, in my opinion, is the smartest in my family. He always was, but his intelligence was the reason for his downfall. When you become so aware of things around you, you begin to question everything because you're so and you know too much. You know, it's kind of like ignorance is bliss, but at the same time, you know, in my mind, the way I cope with that and the way I deal with that is, yeah, ignorance is bliss to a certain extent, but also at the same time, there's no excuse to be a failure.
Yeah.
There's just no excuse because
And he's
everyone's
older
life
than
is
you?
hard. Yeah, he's 10 years older than me.
Wow.
My oldest brother is 10 years older than me.
So how old is he now?
Well, he's 35.
Okay. So he's my age. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I don't want to talk too much about it because I haven't talked to
Neither
him
do
in a long,
I. Yeah, but
in a long time. I really haven't talked to him in a very long time, and it's complicated. But
is he your only sibling?
no, I have 3 older brothers.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you have
I'm
one,
the youngest.
So you have just one of the 3 that is like kind of not on the.
The black sheep, so to speak.
Well, not necessarily. My family is we're a very complicated system that I don't want to talk too much about
Yeah,
because
no,
it's
I
very
get you.
personal for everyone. And
Yeah.
when I grew up, my parents got divorced when I was 7, and it kind of shifted everything. And it wasn't a good divorce. It was very, very, very toxic, bad divorce.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
No,
How-
and
do you
that's
mind me
okay.
asking how old you were when they got divorced?
I just told you I was 7.
You were 7.
I was 7 years old, but yeah, it was crazy. Like for me, it was really weird because I was kind of like the mistake child. You know, I was the child that wasn't supposed to be born. I was 5 years later than everyone else. So it was like my oldest brother, and then it was like 2 years later my second oldest brother, and then 2 years later it was my third oldest brother, and then 5 years later I was born.
Jeez, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's just how life works, you know. Better to be born than not to be born.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'd rather you be here than not.
Yeah.
Holy
Absolutely.
shit.
And that's
David,
the thing. And that's
yeah.
the thing. At the end of the day, it's just yeah. Whether you're a mistake or people talk about that
Nah,
so much.
you're not a mistake,
No, I'm not
dude.
talking about me.
Like, yeah.
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the idea of being a mistake is so stupid to me. It's so dumb. It's
Mm-hmm.
like you're here. Okay, you're obsessed with being a mistake, but you're alive. You
Look at
are
you.
aware.
Like you're a
No, but
beautiful,
it's not
fucking
me.
amazing ass person. Like, can I
No,
ask
but it's
you?
not. But it's not me. It's. People are like, oh my god, I'm a mistake. Everything changes, and it's like, dude, literally nothing has changed.
I don't think anybody
You-
should view themselves as a mistake.
No, exactly, because you are alive. I'm sorry, you're alive. Even if you're a mistake, you're fucking alive, and you deal with what you're dealing with, no matter what it is. And the thing is, sure, do people have hard families, and do families go through turmoil? Yes, but that's normal. That's not
Yeah.
rare. That's actually a extremely normal thing to happen, and everyone feels alone. Everyone feels like they're isolated all the time. That's not. It's just not unique. But everyone thinks it's unique, and it's not.
You're
Get
so
over
right.
it. Get the fuck over
The
it.
richest, most
It's
fucking
fine.
affluent people feel alone all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a
Yeah.
good example. It's like coming from a rich family is hard because typically your parents did amazing things that you have to live up to them. Typically, not always, but typically. But like,
What are your...
hey, get the fuck over it.
Yeah.
Quit being a fucking pussy.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Like, just, it's not that big of a deal. Me and my family, it's much worse elsewhere. Look at what's going on in Israel. Look at what's going on in Palestine. Imagine your family being bombed to death in front of your eyes.
Just dying. Yeah.
I think it's just a lack of perspective
Exactly.
for a lot of people.
Exactly. And so everyone feels, this is the thing, everyone feels like they're like this super unique, special person. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't think of yourself that way, but you're not. I'm sorry. You're not unique and you're not special. You are just a person who lives in the world. And hey, get the fuck over it. It's fine.
I like what you're saying because you really have to overcome any obstacles that are in your life to be able to be a successful person, regardless of what circumstance you were given.
Sure. If you want to be successful, if you want to obtain money, then you have to be able to overcome things. And I think, money and the economy and capitalism is completely coincided with the exact same ideas as evolution. Evolution and capitalism share extremely similar ideologies. It's evolve or die, and that's what it is. And so,
Can I ask you something?
yeah,
really personal?
if you're ambitious, you want things, and you
Getting
want.
juicy. I want to hear it.
What are your thoughts on abortion?
Ooh.
Oh fuck! Why would you ask?
I'm gonna
me
need a
that?
couple.
Thinking that you were a mistake. Like I just have to ask because it's like you see a mother, like, you know what I mean? Like circumstantial nowadays.
I think abortion is.
Sorry, girlfriend.
I think abortion is complicated. I think abortion is not good. I think life is always good. I think, I actually thought about this the other day. The other day I was thinking about this. It was, everyone says the world is overpopulated, right?
Oh my God, I hate that. I actually hate that people say that. Sorry, I'll go on a jag about that later. But like, people that say the world is overpopulated are usually shitty people that just like view everybody as assholes.
Yeah, or they say things like, "Well, why would I bring a child into this world?" And it's like,
Right. Yeah.
what are you scared of?
There's so much land. It's like literally not overpopulated.
Well, it's not even that. It's as the world has become more populated, it's only ever helped people.
Yeah.
As the world becomes more populated,
Yes.
we have more people eating right. We have more people who aren't starving to death, which isn't even a second thought for the average person.
Right.
No one thinks about starving to death anymore. Actually, the problem is am I going to become overweight? The feet, like,
yeah, I get you.
like the value.
Oh, actually, Blair's calling. Can I pick this up online?
I mean, if you want to, you can.
Blair, I'm on a podcast. You're on speakerphone.
Oh God, don't sound
She just hung up. Okay.
That's what I thought.
Okay, perfect. You can still tag her in the comments.
No, I'm not going to.
Sorry.
But no, I think
aborting that kid or what?
no. I think life is good. What I'm getting at is life is good, and it's only ever helped people to have more people, because you never know when like one person changes the entire system that you're in, the entire everything, whether it's economy or Gandhi or anything or morality. I mean, we haven't had a real philosophical evolution since fucking Plato.
Right.
We've literally never had one, yet his texts live through thousands of years, just like religion.
Yeah.
It takes one person to change everything. And so with that thought, I'm not for abortion. I think abortion is bad. I think the removement of life is bad because I view life as good.
Yeah.
And I think living is good. I think living is better than not living.
And giving people a chance at life, it's like if we have a world where like you can give somebody the chance at life or like to be able to make something of themselves, it's like there's been a lot of stories of like people that like have been orphans or, you know, whatever. It's just, you know, being faced with difficulty at a young age can result in really profound like adult
But the thing is
experiences.
the thing
Pressure
is
creates diamond.
exactly.
Honestly, yeah.
But pressure
Honestly,
also.
yeah.
But the thing is for most people, it destroys everything. You know, for the typical person, they don't succeed. And so I understand the perspective of like, okay, I'm not ready to have a kid. I'm not ready to. I can't financially support the birth of a child right now.
Yeah.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
Do I
No,
think
it
it's
is totally fair.
do I
And
think it's
don't-
do I do I think it's good? No. I think it's bad because life is good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I understand that perspective and I understand the worry that someone goes through thinking about that. And I also think at the end of the day, they make that decision.
Thank you. I
And it's-
absolutely agree
and
because it's
that's
like
why
it's a
I'm pro-
personal decision.
Yeah, and
between
I'm
the parties
and
involved.
I'm pro-choice on that where it's like
Yeah. I'm actually pro-choice as well.
But
It's
the
like,
thing
I
is-
feel
is-
like if a couple wants to have a kid, they can. If they don't want to, that's their choice. Again, I don't want to influence their choice,
But
but it's
sometimes
like,
it's not a couple. Sometimes it's oh
Yeah.
my god, I
No,
made
a lot of times
oh
it's
my god,
not,
I made
yeah.
one mistake, and now I'm stuck with 18, 20 years of raising a kid.
yeah.
You know, but at the same time, so that's why I'm pro-choice with it. But at the same time, that person bears the burden, and women bear the burden, and that's true.
Yeah.
And that's true.
Yeah.
Women bear it.
They do.
Men really don't.
Look, I think this is America. I think that you should be able to get one because I just think I'm pro freedom.
Facts.
If you want to get
Yeah.
one, get one.
I believe that.
Now, if you want my opinion on it, oh yeah, it's fucking murder. I mean, it's
Well,
like-
you're not killing a baby.
Yeah, you can't deny.
You're
that.
not killing a
I'm
baby.
not. You
Yeah.
know,
You're
it's not-
obviously killing a
it's-
child.
It's not my position to judge you if you decide to get one. You can do whatever the fuck you want here. You could chop your dick off if you want here.
You can kill yourself.
You can
You
kill
can kill-
yourself.
you can kill yourself.
You could suicide yourself.
Wait,
Cut
don't say
cut
that.
out.
Actually, yeah. but
that out.
I do like your view on this. It's like
yeah.
it's like personal autonomy. It's like you could do whatever you want with yourself or your body or even your unborn child.
I think that's
I
freedom.
agree.
And
It's
I
freedom.
agree with that freedom.
Sure.
It's just
I don't think the state should
it's
be
just
able to
making that choice. It's like, look, maybe I'm aborting the next president.
Sorry,
This is so
guys.
fun.
There is a drumming. You
Yeah.
probably hear it. There's
to go
a
check it out.
drum. Honestly,
Is it El Dia de los
Extremely-
Muertos? Is it Cinco de Mayo today?
Oh, I'm not trying to say they're canceling Halloween, but like,
What's going on?
but it's definitely a movement.
but yeah, they're definitely dia something.
Say, where's the calaveras?
But no, that's
I can't.
what I think about abortion.
Hey,
Yeah.
abortion, what's up?
Do it if you want, but
Oh.
you're murdering children. And I think life is good. I think we
Yeah.
need more people. More people is the better.
Actually, more people is good, and like people are so against people nowadays. I shit you not. Like I don't want to like go into some personal stuff because I want to wrap it up. But like,
Oh, we can.
I met a
we
I
can
met a
dive
Satanist.
right back in.
I met
got
a
it.
Satanist the other day who was saying like more people on the planet are bad, and I was like,
I think Satan.
I was like, do you think that? I was like, and he was like, depopulation is good, and I was like, do you think that you'd be one of the people depopulated? And he's like, he didn't even think about it. He was like, almost like stuck in the headlights, and I'm like,
More people always have meant good for majority people.
yeah,
I mean, when we had less people, we were starving to death. Now
Yeah.
we have so much food, it's disgusting. We have literally a disgusting amount of food.
oh my god,
That's just like-
this is like that was like the what do they call it? Oh god. I feel like there's going to be any kind of tragedy in the United States, it'd be like a food shortage,
Ooh.
or
No
like
way.
or a power shortage.
Not with McDonald's around.
And then so you're like, all this food. I'm like, I
Well,
hope
if
this
they really- if
holds
they-
up well.
Well, the thing too is, and we'll wrap this up soon, don't worry.
Yeah.
But it takes that
Yeah,
to change everything you
Everything.
think about the world. The moment food is gone, the moment grocery stores don't exist anymore, what the fuck does anyone do?
Sure.
No
I think
one-
Right.
If you control food, you control society.
Exactly.
Right.
You control people.
more
Exactly.
importantly, water.
That too.
Water,
water is so
water
crazy.
and food. Water
Yeah.
and food. And
Because you could live for 3 days without water.
That's not very long.
No. Oh my God. Sorry, I said the whole thing wrong. But it's like essentially like you could live without food for almost up to a month, but like without
crazy.
water, 3 days.
That's,
Yeah.
which is crazy. That's crazy.
You
to
could
me.
live, but like, what's my productivity going to be like on day 2? No food.
Right.
It's probably not going to be good.
You can't even fight back on like day 3.
Dude, what's my day 2 of no water?
I'm not building a shed. I'm not building things.
Yeah.
I don't know how the Egyptians did it, but I'm not building a pyramid. There's just not happening.
Nobody knows how the Egyptians did it.
They didn't
Which
do
is
it.
a whole nother
Your
thing.
grandma from the CIA might.
Do you watch?
Actually,
let me ask you this question: do you watch Graham Hancock? Have you ever watched Graham Hancock on Rogan or anything like that?
No.
You've never listened? Have you ever listened to anything about ancient civilizations?
Actually, I'm so sorry, but I love this.
What?
Ancient civilization stuff.
Dude.
You
Because
guys are gonna.
I don't even believe. I convinced a girl one time
He
at the
goes
bar.
nuts for it.
I was at a bar.
Obsessed. It's bad.
This is a sound bite right here. I convinced a girl in Orlando one time that the Civil War didn't happen, based on architecture at the time. Like, literally, I told her.
Wow.
Pardon my language, but that might be a little bit retarded.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
honest.
Well, because if you look at, you guys seen the movie Django, right?
Oh, great
It's like,
movie.
yeah, no movie took place in like 1856 or something like that, almost exactly. But they have lever pulling like guns and like all this like old world. Everyone's fucking stupid as shit. But basically, it's like if you look at like all the architecture at that time, it is like vastly superior to like anything those motherfuckers could produce. Like,
Sure.
I'm not talking about like slaves or whatever, but it's like if they have slaves building buildings, it's like they can't do like spires and like even like the White House and all these buildings. So part of me, actually a lot of me, believes that like a lot of buildings were inherited coming to America. Like the buildings were already here because the architecture matches like
Interesting. I've never heard that perspective.
they match like European architecture. It's like
Interesting.
look at the fucking
So you
even the
think-
Washington Monument is like
that's
a
so
spire.
fucking, but that's so brilliant. If
Yeah,
you're
and
if you're-
America wants to destroy like anything that like isn't America, and it's like America literally has architecture that like exists in Egypt. Do you get what I'm saying? Like even in like old places where there's no roads and stuff, there's like ancient architecture.
holy shit.
So like, I feel like our
never thought about that before.
yeah,
I'm
it's
obsessed.
a new thing for me.
I'm obsessed with ancient civilizations. I think they did exist.
I'll send you some stuff.
I'll
You're
send
gonna
you
love
some
it.
stuff too because
Yeah.
you should watch some Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson. It's really eye opening.
sounds awesome.
No,
Yeah.
it's really eye opening because they have a lot of evidence to prove that there was a intelligent ancient civilization that
Yes.
existed before Mesopotamia.
And
Mesopotamia.
I believe that. I actually believe that. And so when I say the
But
Civil
when I
War didn't happen, it's like it's more like the Civil War was like a way to cover up ancient civilizations because like they say like so like all these cannonballs and things like that. Like cannonballs never explode. Like they're literally like just like balls of like
Yeah, they're just-
metal
they're
that
just-
like shoot out and
yeah.
so like there's buildings. Oh my God. It's like I could just get into it, but it's like there was so much destruction of architecture and ancient buildings during the 1850s.
Really?
Yes. Like, look, I want you guys. Hey,
I've literally never heard of this, and if what
Yeah.
you're saying is actually true,
here, I'll just
you're
say
about
one
to
thing.
fucking knock my socks
Look
off,
at the
bro.
World's Fair. Everybody, look at the World's Fair in Chicago.
Hold on, I'll pull it up.
Yeah, World's Fair Chicago. I don't remember what year, but probably
93.
Probably almost earlier, but like
It's all right, just
that's
look
probably
it
what Google wants you to see.
What do you want me to type in?
18. Just type in 18 and then see what pops up.
92.
Yeah, I tried 93. Just see
All
what
right, just
happens.
try 93.
But basically, they say they built this entire city. Okay, this one. Click this one. They built this entire city within like a year, and then they tore it down. And it was built out of, like, this is in America, in Chicago in 1890.
I lived in Chicago for 3 years. I've never seen this.
Oh, that's all water. It's a beautiful, look how beautiful this is. They tore it down. Yeah. So this is why I don't believe.
Chicago tore this down.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I mean, look it up. That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys should all like just check this out. But this is where I'm kind of like confused about history. It's like they have all these beautiful ancient things that happened in America that they tore down during the 1850s to 1900s that destroy history, that basically link America to the rest of the world during like these ancient times. So, you know, And I guess going back to it, I was drunk at a bar and I convinced the girl that the Civil War didn't happen. The Civil War was based on covering up history based like this. So it's like, look at that building. That's like
And
the
Chicago
Capitol
went.
building
Chicago,
looks like that.
Chicago saw this and went. I'm gonna tear this down. Are you serious?
This is
right now?
Chicago. This is Chicago.
I lived in Chicago. I've never heard of this.
Yeah. Oh, there's more beautiful pictures even than this, but this is like just one beautiful picture. It's like they had all this technology.
I don't know.
and
Maybe I'm
things.
stupid, but that is
Yeah, like,
incredible.
Click
I
that
mean,
motherfucking wide. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. That is Chicago World's Fair.
that's probably where Navy Pier is, I guess.
They don't want people seeing this stuff, but like,
But who cares? But
that's what I'm saying. I'm so as I'm getting older, I'm getting more interested in history because like you can determine the
happens.
future from history, and like history is so I guess as I'm getting older, it's like history is so fucking polluted with like lies and like everything. It's like remember what Norm Macdonald said? He's like, isn't it funny how all the people that like won the wars in history are the ones that are like, you know, all the good guys won the wars. Like all the good guys won the wars. Isn't that crazy? Like
I
it's
love
like
Norm Macdonald.
it's like this existed. Like they built this shit in like a year and then they tore it down. Is what they said in
never
the history
seen this.
books.
I've never seen this. That's really, I know. That's why it's so
Yeah.
shocking.
I don't know. There's
That's
a
a
lot of things
crazy
like this.
idea,
There's
though.
World's Fair in San Francisco and other places. It's just like just look at the World's Fair in the 1800s.
I've never heard the idea
Crazy.
that so okay. There's two things before we wrap up. We're gonna wrap
Yeah,
up very soon.
we gotta wrap up.
We're gonna wrap up.
We'll come back.
Everyone's getting tired. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say one thing. Oh my god.
Like they can't build this now.
What's
You think
the
they can build this now, dude?
Oh my god.
They can't even build that now.
Masonic Lodge. What am I talking about?
Masonic Lodge.
Masonic Lodge. Freemasons.
Freemasons, yeah.
Okay. So they say the Freemasons designed majority government buildings. That's why government
Yeah.
buildings are the way that they are. Thinking about this, I mean,
Yeah.
you just,
This is,
I mean, there's no way it's that planned. I mean, there's just no way that
Well,
it's that planned.
I believe
From the get-go, like, there's no way.
I believe we inherited a lot of these buildings and things. That's like why colleges are out in random areas, and then we're like, oh, look at this beautiful, like archaic, like college building with all these columns and stuff. It's like in the middle of nowhere. It's like they'll find roads and stuff like with these beautiful
That's
things
fucking
in the middle of nowhere where people don't even go anymore. And it's like, why would they build this whole system of things like here in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah.
It's because like I firmly believe like America was part of like a civilization that was like a world civilization that was like
Yeah.
linked with Europe and so like look at that. That doesn't exist now. And it existed in what is this 1904? This is 1904. Oh, sure.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Fucking Christ.
So it's like I believe that they destroyed a lot of history to try to like unlink America with the rest
we're
of the
almost
world.
done, but what's the incentive for them?
To create
Do you think it's aliens? Because I think it comes back to aliens. And I'm not kidding. I think it comes back to that
if there-
aliens exist, and I think we have a previous advanced civilization that discovered space. This is partially
you're
what
right.
I think.
I mean, you're right
We
in
have
a lot
a
of ways.
previous
Yeah.
ancient civilization that discovered space travel
Mm-hmm.
in a different understanding than what we currently understand. We understand things in physics and the way in which we understand things, but I think it's very possible to understand things in a very different way.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think-
look at something like DMT. Look at something like mushrooms.
I feel like I feel like physics and everything, like in all these new ways to look at the world, might be completely just like a way to distract us, almost like a psyop. It's like almost like electricity and like just ether is like the way that things work. So it's almost like there's free energy and there's like ways to like interact with the Earth and the planet and the solar system that create like means of like living in power and things that like older civilizations that understood like how to tap into it.
Right.
Which and I don't want to get killed because I'm not suicidal.
You're not suicidal. I'm
one
also
of
not
the-
suicidal. If you kill me, everyone's going to know
One of
eventually.
the very few people that get killed are the people that find free energy.
That is true.
And I believe that
point.
there is a world where there is like free energy like floating around in these ancient civilizations that coexisted within America and the rest of the world during like ancient times. And maybe we just inhabited them like around the 1850s or during these World Fair times.
And so do
It's
you
like,
think,
it's
do you
like
think,
it sounds crazy.
do you
but,
think
like,
no, it doesn't sound that crazy. It doesn't sound
like-
crazy to me.
It's
But
like
do you
identical
think,
architecture.
I'm
It's
sorry.
like-
I know we're going to wrap this up very
Yeah.
soon, but do you think that people know that and they don't
No.
want? You don't think anyone knows?
Oh, no, I feel like the elites and the top people know way more than we can imagine.
Well, of
They might be
course.
interfacing
But
with these aliens.
do you think they know?
And the aliens that you're talking about, I think like do exist, and they probably exist here on Earth, underground.
Yeah, under the
sounding
oceans.
crazy, but it's like
No, it sounds crazy, but
We don't
it's-
even know
it's-
what's in the center of the Earth. It's like
We
you
have
know,
no idea.
if they would be underground, and we
right,
can't go
well,
there. But
Well, honestly, that's extremely interesting, and honestly, I wish we kept talking about it. But,
let's do it. Yeah,
but come back again.
yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
I loved it. This
This was
great.
so fun.
This is a
Yeah.
good time, Joey.
This has been great.
Pleasure.
It's been great. Not a tragedy. Like
Not a
9/11.
tragedy. Well, it was, and it was a tragedy. But all right. Anything you want to plug? Anything you want to say?
No, just follow this podcast and listen to David, motherfuckers. Yeah, this is great.
All right, let's wrap it up.
All righty.
It's great.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another fantastic episode of Bullet Brain Podcast. If you like Joey, if you like having Joey on the show, he was an absolute pleasure. It's so loud.
I love it.
It's so good.
It's
All
so
right,
good.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Tune in
That
next
was the
week
shit.
for another
Done.
fantastic episode.
That
Follow
was so
Joey
good.
on Instagram.
That was so fun.
That was so
A
fun.
fantastic
Joey Sarson.
guest.
Joey
Bro.
Sarson.
Joey
Sarson.
Sarson.
everybody.
Follow him on
All right.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Let's get the fuck
And
out of
we
here.
are out.
We
That
gotta
is a
get the
wrap.
fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Vince is introducing Kim Kardashian to the boxing ring right now. His
Heart is pounding. I'm nervous.
Just do it.
Just
All
do
right.
it. She's gonna see it.
All right, Bruce Buffer.
Fighting out of the red corner. You know her as Kim K.
This is so good.
I got nothing.
No, keep going.
It would
Keep
just be
going.
like,
Oh my God,
that was
I'm
pretty
like
good.
half hard. right
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time! Fighting out of the blue corner, 14 lip fillers, 18 Brazilian butt lifts, Kim Kardashian!
now. Bitch. Shit.